The plan this week, don't prolong a stream hours longer than initially planned like last week. I wanted to do like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hour stream, and it was what, like 4.5 hours? Because I just kept rambling on about stuff, like talking to people, and just kept getting behind. Not this week. No crazy prolonging stuff this week. So hang on. Let me send out some links and post on Twitter, and I will then get to the comments, and we'll get to this week's little community discussion, and anything that we want to go over about the series this week. There was some pretty solid stuff. A lot of people were unhappy with the Black Clover chapter, but I don't think a lot of individuals saw the foreshadowing that was laid out, because that's the thing that I'm fairly certain is glossed over. There can be opinions of, I think a character should have stayed dead, or I didn't like this part, but facts is as long as it makes sense, you can't call it like an asshole, and especially when clearly the author had it set up from the start. I don't really feel like it has the same level of complaint than something like, oh, this doesn't make sense, this hurts this X, X, and X. I don't believe that it has that level of, oh my god, my cat is just going crazy over in the corner. I'm gonna have to take that away from her if it's too loud. Can you guys hear that background noise? I found one of her toys under my couch, and she's just been going apeshit on it for like the last hour. So hold on a second. Let me just send out some links, and then we will go over some things this week. I'm pretty excited over this to talk about it, because there was both good. I don't think there was anything bad. I would say just like controversial that we really can kind of look at and address what was going on. Some theories. If you read the Fire Force manga, there was a lot of like really head-scratching, tinfoil hat stuff going on that I really want to, kind of talk about. If anybody's, following that. I was pretty happy and pleased of, the feedback on that one. I got some pretty good views, so this way I won't have to worry about the consistency of what the videos does for my channel, because I enjoyed reviewing them before, and I enjoyed the series, and now I can review it like on a consistent basis. So I'm glad that there is somewhat of an audience within my followers that are interested in it. Anyway, I'm going to get to the comments. Just starting out, I'd really appreciate if you would thumbs up the video, befriend the like button, and comment in the chat box, because obviously the points of these my Sunday streams are community discussion. We had some actually really high levels of participation in the polls, because for those who haven't checked that out or seen, I'm doing character discussion videos on Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and they're all based around a theme that's going on that is voted by you guys. It's in the community tab. Week 0 was what was it? Short-lived, but powerful characters. Or short-lived, but was it short-lived but still good? I don't remember. It was short-lived, but still having a presence. This week it is crazy yet not a villain. Which the first one, Faust, I understand why that one wasn't too exciting. The next one I feel like is going to be a lot more fun to go over. And if you know that the format that it's going in, the themes, Saturday's the fairy tale one, then Tuesday's Black Clover, and Thursday will be it could be for miniseries. So I think you can look at like Black Clover and like who's crazy and yet not a villain. I think that the one that I will have a lot of interesting conversation going over, and I think people really like, is going to be fun. I'm going to record that later tonight, and it will be up on Tuesday, so look forward to that. Anyway, if you want to participate, go check out the options for this week. The polls start and end on Wednesday. And I try to keep it close on Twitter. The Twitter ones aren't nearly as active as like the ones on the community page, but I'm still going to count those votes, even if it only gets like a small percentage in comparison. But let me look at the comments and see what you guys are talking about this week. Shiki versus Deku. Shiki would win. He's way more mobile. He's got like a higher power output, and like other than Deku I don't think he is even close to as much like straight up combat experience and like displays as Shiki. Nishiki makes a black hole. I am. What I've been saying is I'd rather Shiki, instead of a black hole, go for more like a wormhole, because his mobility has been like a theme for his character, whereas Haru was more about like mismatching variety, and Natsu was much more about like, being a berserker. He was like an onslaught style powerhouse, whereas Shiki just very mobile. Because obviously Haru had mobility with Sulfarion. Natsu had mobility with, like, using explosions to move around. But Shiki is just all around mobile, running up walls, on ceilings. He's able to fly with gravity manipulation. Adding in something like a wormhole, so just giving, like, little spatial portals would be really cool. And it would just enhance that aspect of him and really kind of, differentiate another trait between him, Natsu, and Haru, which I really like. It's really a shame, because like one of the things, just glancing over real quick, is you have all Hiromishima's seasonal names. You have Haru, spring, Natsu, summer. Toka now, actually, from what I've seen, Toka can be translated to winter, and Shiki means 4 seasons, and Aki, who is fall or autumn, is like, he's still counted, but he's only in like a very short series that Hiroshima did called Monster Soul. I'm hoping that, maybe they reboot it or continue it so, he can be somewhat relevant. Maybe Mishima will do it after Eden Zero, because he said it's not going to be super long, at least at the moment. But anyway, Rebecca's able to become Deadshot from DC. Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. I'm curious if she's going to go down that just kind of like gun-enhanced route, or something that complements it. Like I said, like what if she gets an ether gear like Paul, like something to make him more stealthy, or, very more trickery-based. I think I would just add like, a whole extra skill tree to what she could have. Shiki, final demon form. I'm hoping it goes more towards what he's got now, to where like, we saw his full body ether gear where nothing about it looks demon-like. But it would just be, off of his title, but in his form, he doesn't give off that presence, which I like. I like the idea behind that. Lavilia, water, ether gear, I don't know about that. There's still the curious question about, her robotic legs that she has in the initial, like, promo for Eden Zero from, early last year. I think it was like in March when it was first shown. Shiki Space Demon King form will really, with a really cool cape. Maybe. I'm still hoping he still kind of keeps that, like, not demon look, but he'll have that kind of very intimidating presence. Many things I'd like to discuss. Yeah, just that's the comments with him. Well, Weiss can get all kinds of Iron Man suits like Tony Stark. A lot of people are theorizing that, because I don't know if he knows, or if he reads the comics or like any of the animated series, but I don't know if Hiroshima watches the MCU movies. I'm not a fan, but I can understand like why, somebody who does like, does their own series would enjoy like aspects of them. And he probably wouldn't have as much time to watch the other ones because, mangaka life, like their schedule is crazy. But who's faster, Norito or Asta? Norito. Oh my god, I gotta look that Norito. I'm trying to remember who that is. Norito. Oh, I only am thinking of the one from. I'm only thinking of. I can't think of it. I'm thinking of Noritoshi. I think. I don't know who do you mean Norito? Who do you think Shiki's your voice actor will be in the anime? I don't know. Like, I think Haru's voice is still weird to me because I always pictured him that kind of have like a lighter voice, but it sounds rougher. And then Natsu's voice, has kind of like that wild card aspect to it. I feel like Shiki's will sound much more youthful, like not like a child, but very young. He does have that aspect. You think he's just some happy young dude, but then he can go crazy. Do you think Eden Zero will get a spin-off series? That depends. Like, it hasn't taken off like Fairy Tail yet, but it hasn't gotten an anime. And this arc, I'm hoping the Draken Joe arc will be crazy, because even though I've enjoyed the arc so far in Eden Zero, they haven't had like a big crazy arc yet that it's been an all-around like cluster of I don't know, intensity, insanity, and just like a staple arc of the series. Like Fairy Tail had the Phantom Lord arc, which is still like regarded as one of the best ones in the series. And when you look at a lot of series, you have that like first like arc that becomes hype. Like Black Clover's was probably the Water Temple arc, and then people started to really kind of like pass it around after that. Already read that. Eden Zero Final Vote. I don't know. We don't even know a lot of the characters yet. It'd be cool. Eden Zero actually became Credibles. We'll see. Late gay. I'm not late gay. I started a couple seconds early, I think. What's up, Joshua Light? Rax, the problem is that it doesn't make sense. The problem is it takes away the emotional moment with Yami. No, it doesn't. The thing is, Yami already had a display of, showing his more, emotional side. We saw that in his character. The thing is, we're going to see where it goes from here, because now where Yami looked up to Julius as like a role model character, now we have a young Julius who could look up to Yami that way, which would be kind of like weird between them, but still would be really interesting. And now you could have Julius as a member of the Black Bulls, which again would be really cool and add a whole new addition to the series. What if that became his vice captain? There's still like the fact that if you look at the silhouette of the Black Bulls from Chapter 2, there's one character in there that is not identifiable yet that could be the vice captain. I think Tabata mentioned, I don't remember if it was in a Q&A or if in one of the volumes, he mentioned that we haven't met the Black Bulls vice captain yet. But could you imagine if it was Julius? Like Kid Julius? That'd be sick. That'd be actually really cool if they did that. I like it because it was well established. Tabata clearly had it planned. It still adds a lot of weight because he's now nerfed. He's a much weaker version from just kind of like looking at it, because he has his the page in front of him seemingly is what's left of his grimoire, so he's probably going to be have like one spell, maybe two if we go by like what Raditz has with his double-sided only 2 spells in there. Well, there's no point in keeping Julius alive. What else would he contribute to the story? He could become he doesn't need to be like I'm going to become a big new plot line. He just has to contribute to protecting the Clover Kingdom, because that's, their overall job. And, we don't know what's to come after this. We have absolutely zero idea what big stuff will happen. Like, we didn't even get a whole lot of what the plan that the demon was going to do after he got out. Well, was he going to go meet up with other demons? Was there something that, the demons are trying to accomplish? We don't know what's to come. Again, if there's more demons as well, they're going to need all the firepower they can, because it took that much for one. And, there's a whole dimension of who knows how many. Will they come? Maybe. They could be way more devastating. And it's not even just powerful. We don't know what kind of, like, crazy magics they have. And on top of crazy magics, they have crazy monsters that they can bring out, like that, like weird, like leech, like slug creature that could like dissolve magic and shit. Like, there's so much that's still possible that could come out of just like bringing any character around, adding an additional. And again, it's a question. Tabata has shown that he knows what he's doing. He plans things out. He doesn't just pull things out of his ass. He's planned far enough ahead that he's displayed that if he does something, that he's already figured out a way to deal with it, or laid something out with plans of it. There's a lot of times early in the series, if you look at a lot of big mangas, that you can tell the author didn't plan long scale stuff. Like they planned it to be much smaller. The series blew up, and so they continued it further. And they have to make adjustments so it fits into a larger scale plan rather than a short series. But Tabata clearly, like, he had a Hungry Joker, and that series got canceled, and it seems like he went all out for Black Clover, and now he's showing it. Like, the forehead mark was a standout, like, kind of like weird little bit of Julius's character early on. It was laid out that there was something significant about it when he died, and even said, like, I've seen people like, oh, why did he give that speech about, when it seemed like he was going to die? Well, he even said when he came back that he wasn't sure if that technique would even work, because, like, how would he test it? How would he test this theoretical, like, setup of being able to bring yourself back from the dead, by manipulating time? You're going to kill yourself to test it out? What happens if it fails? Then you're dead, That is like a move. It's like, it could work, but it could not work, And it just adds to his preparations of what he wants to do for the Clover Kingdom, I like that. I like that was part of it, It doesn't change his speech because he wasn't sure whether or not it would work. He wasn't going to be like, oh, don't worry, I have this thing in place. Because then imagine that. Imagine if he told Yami, like, about the mark, and then it didn't work. And then he just dies, and then Yami's just like, why did you inform me of this? You got my hopes up. And then, now you're dead. That would be super rough. What's up? How's it going? Falling Fire X. What's up? I don't know if I feel like I've seen you in the chat once before, but not free. I don't think you're a frequent person. What's up? How's it going? Hello, Smarty. I'll catch up with JoJo eventually. I stopped at part 4. Like, right when part 4... Oh, not when part 4 started. Right when I got to part 4. It was before the animes and, like, official translations. It was still like super old fan translations where it was in like 360 or like 240 and it was horrible. I'll get to it eventually. I don't know. At some point, I'll get caught up on JoJo. One day I'll just sit down and have a JoJo marathon. Maybe we'll do a thing with it. I don't know. What's up? How's everyone doing today? It's a nice Sunday. I'm pretty stoked. Unfortunately, my weekend's almost over, but I have Friday off, so I'll be able to have a little bit more time to get stuff ready. I'm looking forward to the next character discussion too. I prolonged a little bit because I was playing some games this morning, but I'm gonna record some chapter reviews and those character discussions after this, and then prep them for the week. So look forward to that. Tuesday, like shortly after I wake up, I will upload the video so you guys can watch it. That'll be a fun one. All I'll say is I know he's a fan favorite, and I guess that it's a dude. You can guess. If you guess it right, I won't tell you, but guess it. The mystery, the extra mystery one that I do on Thursday will be a lot of fun because I did some 4D chessing with it, setting up for it for one specific person. So that's going to be a good time. Anyway, also the Vikings, there are Vikings in Black Clover. Have there been noted Vikings? That I haven't actually, I can't say I remember. Is there a part where Vikings are mentioned? I know that there's obviously the stuff behind, some of the attacks and whatnot, but no, like, for sure mention of Vikings. It'd be cool. I'd like to see other styles, because the thing we're getting with the Diamond Kingdom is they're going to be more battle mages, where a majority of the Clover Kingdoms are more like traditional style casters. We could get something in other countries. Like, we know that the Yami's country, they have to be powerful. They have to have their own strong characters, but they don't have grimoires and stuff. They have ki sensing. Maybe they have their own version, or maybe like focusing or not chi into their own attacks. Is it? No, it is ki. God damn, I hate that those are two extremely close and similar things with similar names. But anyway, we could find out more going to other countries in Black Clover, and maybe each one will have a different theme. Maybe we'll have something, again, like Vikings, or Viking Saints will just be like, oh, maybe they're super durable and have, like, massive stamina and something. I don't know. Like, they could be Black Clover's, like, absurd physical strength character where, like, oh, yeah, you're fighting this guy, and he throws, like, a warship at you to just kind of be, like, a greeting in the fight, and then maybe he's, like, ripping out chunks of the ground, and that would actually be a really good counter to Asta, because we know that Asta, he's not, like, because with Vito, he's not too good against ranged attacks, especially if they aren't magic, and then just anyone that physically, like, outspeeds and outmuscles him is like, a hard, like, deterrent for who he is. Because I would just be like Asta, then he would have to actually, like, learn, like, way more of, like, sword fighting and, like, combat, because he's got more of, like, an improv berserker style now, but as obviously his anti-magic swords are a huge factor in who he is. That would be a really cool, like, part to progress him in the future, to be like, you need to get it would also be a thing to, like, further push him on Wizard King. That would be pretty cool. And it's like, you open up an extra area of, like, why did he able to learn these things? He describes, like, he's describing to younger people, like, decades in the future of, the time he met Vikings. And it could fit. We know the Japanese are, are they Japanese? I don't think they're called the Japanese, but, Yami's people, the land of the sun. Far Forward episode 3 was good. I gotta watch episode 3. I want to keep up with that, because I wanted to keep up with Kimetsu no Yaiba's anime, and I got behind, and now I'm, like, 8 episodes behind. I have to, like I said, I have Friday off, so maybe I'll do it then. Catch up on Kimetsu no Yaiba, sit down with some popcorn, and watch, like I did a couple weeks ago with Yu-Gi-Oh!, and that was awesome. I'm so hyped for this season of Reigns. I love Fire Force manga. It's good. There were some parts that were like, there are a couple chunks that I don't find that interesting, but like the current arc is super interesting. The current arc, I think, is a lot of promise. I won't spoil it if you're not caught up, or if you're an anime only. But the current arc really got me hyped right now, because it's like it was like the same thing with like Boruto, where I was like, I enjoy this series, I'll follow it, but it's not like something like Chainsaw Man or Jujutsu Kaisen for new series where I really want to read the next chapter right away. But after, like, Boruto, right when they showed that, kind of, like, gave hints on Jigen's background, I got really interested in the series, because it opened up a lot of different doors, and a lot of, like, mysteries within the series kind of, like, starting to fit together. And right now, Fire Force is opening up a lot of doors and mysteries with its current arc. Again, I won't spoil it. You know what I mean if you read the manga. Rex, I've been slacking on Jujutsu Kaisen. Could you give me a recap of the last 10 chapters? Oh, they're doing a big flashback arc. They're showing what I believe is going to lead up to what turned Geto into a villain. Because, he had a very different personality prior. He was one of the Jujutsu sorcerers that were on the good side with Geto, or with Satoru and stuff. I don't want to get too much into it, because legitimately it's a lot of fun. Jujutsu Kaisen... And this might be one of my favorite flashback arcs in a while, because usually flashback arcs, when you get to a point where it's like, oh man, I just want to get back to the main story now. I feel like this flashback could go on for like a year, and I wouldn't get tired of it, because the character dynamics between Satoru and Geto are by themselves really cool, and I like seeing them as they are. They're powerful. They're still really powerful, even in their, teen years. But they're not like where they're at now, where they're just Paragon characters and seemingly invincible. And that's really cool. Like, I won't give it too much, but like I just read the new chapter before the stream, and there's a part where Satoru is still like, he's just beating up on this dude, and he's going to use one of his techniques, and it doesn't go off because he hasn't mastered it yet, which I thought was really cool, because it just shows, like, even though he's still pretty strong then, he's still growing, which, good stuff. I liked seeing that aspect of his character. And Satoru and Geto are just both so interesting. Thoughts on the latest Fairy Tail episode? I liked it. I really liked, for one, the August fight had some pretty good animation. A lot of fluid scenes I was pretty happy of. There were some really cool bits too. I liked the music, a lot of the voice acting. Larcade's scene made it so much sadder, because instead of being like sad, but like the way that he reacted to Zeref, it was like a hysterical sobbing, and that just kind of made it a lot more depressing for him. And then there's so many scenes in this that just made, like, in my opinion, Zeref one of the best shonen villains. And like that part where he talks about he like, it's impossible, because like, even though he has, a kid, he has August, but he doesn't know it. Like, the idea of Larcade being his kid, he's like, it's impossible because I was not allowed to have a family. I was not allowed to be happy. It was forbidden to me. And it wasn't like he just decided that. It was obviously, a god that, bestowed this curse upon him that pretty much fucked over his life. Oh my god, my cat is laying on right across my keyboard, and she keeps rolling onto my keys. I don't know if you guys can hear her. She's a nuisance, but I love her. Lay down, please. Anyway, I don't know how she does it. She somehow just brought up the search command. I don't know how she hit Control F, but she did anyway. Yeah, go check it out. Like, it's so good. Jujutsu Kaisen, I legitimately think is one of the most interesting, like, new manga. Obviously, again, I really like Eden Zero. Like, I really love Hiro Mishima's style. But again, we haven't entered that hype arc. I still like am enjoying the story build up. But like Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen are just straight fire, and I've been really digging them. Those are great. Those are definite recommends. I'd recommend someone Eden Zero, but it wouldn't be like a hard recommend until after and my guess is the Dragon Joe arc, because I think that's going to be a big hype arc for the series, just because I feel like there's going to be a lot of crazy stuff at that point, because up until now it's been more of like, getting introductionary pieces, getting everything built up, set up. But until then, still check it out. Julius wanted a world free discrimination. Asta wanted the exact same thing. Why would they treat newer shonen characters as ripoffs when we can treat them as their own characters? Wait, what? So why would? They are like. There are aspects that you can relate. Like, you're always going to see, like, a part of a character and you're going to get reminded of a different character. It doesn't mean they're a ripoff. Like, it's pretty silly. I mean, like, people just want to, rag on something if they're not a fan of it. They want to look for reasons to be like, I don't like this because this. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. But, like, some of the... I've seen some Black Clover fans, try and, like, do that to other series. But a lot of people, like My Hero Academia fans especially, always want to shit on Black Clover. And it's like, why? We don't care. We don't care if you don't like the series. But, I saw one dude, he put a video on Twitter of, like, him throwing away his Black Clover volumes because he didn't like the plot twist that happened, with Julius. But I commented, I'm like, I don't give a fuck if you throw them away because you bought them. You can do what you want after that. You buying them contributed to Black Clover's sales and its success. If you don't like the series, fine. But like you're disliking it isn't gonna hurt like profit and success. If you say I'm gonna buy a volume just to throw it away, it's like okay, cool, go ahead. It's your property. You can do whatever you fucking want with it. I realized that a couple of years ago when somebody burned every single Bleach volume because they didn't like, I don't remember if it was because of Ichigo ending up with Orihime and Renji hooking up with Rukia, or if it was just like he didn't like the ending. But it's like, I was like, damn, dude, why would you do that to that series? Then I'm like, you just burned, like, what is it, like 70 plus volumes? What's that, like, almost $1,000? That's such a bad idea. You could have went to a second-hand shop and sold them and, you know, at least made profit back. But, like, you just wasted money, and that money still went to, like, you know, the sales of the series. So good job, dipshit. That's pretty much, like, my take of, like, a lot, like, some of this, like, throwing volumes away because you're upset with, like, a turn in the series. It's like, why? Why? That's dumb. But, yeah, really, really silly stuff. Oh, hang on, I missed my spot. Let me find it. There we go. Luckily, I'm not too far behind. All the possibilities of owning Julius in the future. Which would you like the most? I personally hope for join the Black Bulls or something. I want him to join the Black Bulls, too. I really want him to join the Black Bulls. I think he'll add, like, a really fun thing. I think it'd be really weird if he was in there, because he still would have, like, the memories of Julius and, like, the combat experience, but he wouldn't have, like, the magic power level and all his spells. But, like, people would probably still treat him like Julius, but he would still probably act like some, like, kid and, like, want to be treated like as some rookie. But it'd be, like, kind of hard because at the same time he's Julius Novachrono. I'm very excited to see how this goes. I'm very excited to see where it goes. I don't think he'll just be, like, put back as Wizard King. Because, again, like, they showed the single page at the end of the chapter, and a lot of people are speculating. I feel like it's obvious, but not guaranteed. You know, it's not confirmed canon that's his grimoire, because his grimoire, from what we see, is just, like, it's just pages. You know, it's just pages, and with that, you know, one page, like, it would make sense. Like, what would be the point of showing this page? It's like, oh, that's his grimoire. You know, he's going to be way weaker. Him adding in, and I feel like they're going to have, I feel like there's going to be also a small time skip. Not, like, years, but I feel like maybe like a couple weeks, couple months. And we'll probably get more captains, because, you know, we know that when you become a captain, I'm guessing if you aren't in a Night Order, or if you, in the case of, like, Kaiser, like, he just became captain because, you know, their captain wasn't there anymore. He came and stepped up. But, like, in, you know, if you were a captain, like, say, like, Fuego Leon and Marileona, like, Marileona wanted to stay captain of the Crimson Lions or something, Fuego Leon could step on, like, I'll make a new one. Because Yami made his, and so did Rill. They both made their Night Orders. We could have characters step up, become captains, and make new orders, which would be pretty cool. I actually wanted to bring this up. I'm gonna do a video on this as just like a theory video, but I'm gonna drop this here over the question of it. What if Asta, because like before he becomes Wizard King, I feel like he should become a captain at some point, and what if there's a period where he makes his own instead of the Black Bulls, where he makes his own called the Black Clovers? Because we have Patri. Patri could become a member of his, like, what if Patri became like his vice captain? And Asta was captain, and they had multiple members with Black Clover grimoires, and they called themselves the Black Clovers. How cool would that? Or, because then it'd be like, not only that, like, what if they became like an elite spec ops? They're like the Anbu for the Clover Kingdom, and they're like because it'd be like, you know, Naruto, you know, you had like the Anbu show up, and you're like, oh shit, you know, the spec ops of Konoha, of the Hidden Leaf. It'd be like that. It'd be like, oh, which Night Order did they send to fight us? And then you'd be like, oh, let me look. And you see, and you'd be like, oh shit, it's the Black Clovers. Fuck, we're so screwed. This is like their elite guard, like special, like get in and like leave no one either alive or no one left to get away, kind of thing. I need to do a full video discussing that, because I thought of that the other day, and I really like the idea of it. Again, it's just a little fan theory. But it could happen. We now have 2 characters with Black Clover grimoires within the Clover Kingdom. And we don't know how many there are in the world. And we know that they could keep coming. there's still possibilities of more, because that could be a thing. Like, imagine like a small time skip, and like one of the plot points opening up after that is there's another 4-leaf clover rookie, and maybe that will be a plot point for them, as like a thing where they slowly become a 5, like they eventually become a black clover grimoire, and Asta will have like a part where he, you know, brings them back, and you know, that's instead of like with Patriot, where it was much more of like a personal kind of issue, it's much more of like a leadership thing. I think that'd be really cool. And then that would be like a good sign for him becoming a captain. Just imagine that. Imagine a Night Order led by Asta as like, you know, mid-20s Asta, adult Asta. You know, it's just like, this is the last thing before he's promoted to Wizard King. Imagine him running a Night Order called the Black Clovers. That'd be so cool. And it would add a third layer onto the name Black Clover as a series, because we have it because it's the main character's grimoire. There are black clovers in the world, and they lead to big problems. You know, with like you know, them becoming, you know, into this depravity state, but also being influenced by like demons and stuff. But also, if it becomes a Night Order, that'd be so cool. I'm stoked for that. I need to do a further video on that. But for now, I'll leave it at that and get back to the comments so I don't get too far behind. Anyway, if Weiss is Rebecca, oh wait, yeah, I still predict that. Well, that's kind of hard to like compare because Tony Stark is Marvel and Deadshot is DC, but I still get where you're coming. Oh man, that'd be so cool. I just imagined Black Clover. Anyway, where was I? Hang on, I was reading a comment and then I scrolled. My God, where was it? I know exactly the comment it was. Oh, I'm a little bit further behind what I thought. Anyway, here we go. Wait, is that? God damn it! No, I am further behind than I thought. No, I'm scrolling up. There we go. I found it. My favorite character super form is called Final Dragon Full Burst. I'm still thinking of like forms for all my characters. I got some of them, but I'm not too sure. I had one where like I won't go to it. There's a character like he's got like he ended up developing like a personal space trauma. Because, like, he ends up fighting, like, this chick that was a cannibal that, like, takes chunks out of his body while they're fighting. And, he uses gravity, and, like, his whole thing is he eventually wants to appear. He very much makes it so, like, it develops because of that, like, an idea of, like, I need to make it so if this ever happens again, no one will become near me. So he kind of, for a short moment, can become a black hole, but eventually, like, he'll be able to, like... He's also got this huge superiority complex. And, like, eventually, because he has this, like, thing, because all his attacks are, like, named after, like, things, like, involving, like, royalty and stuff. And it would be, like, him having, like, a crown made of black holes or something. Something super, like, intense like that, where you just, like, look at that scene and you're just like, I can't fucking believe that this is happening, but this is so goddamn cool, I can't stop looking. Just imagine, that'd be so sick. But, anyway. Anyway, oh god, where was I? Anyway, there we go. I thought about getting a physical copy of the Japanese Shonen Jump manga. I've noticed people are getting, I never thought about this, because similar to comics, but, like, people are ordering, like, the Japanese, like, first, you know, actually, I think you can custom order them now, but you can't get them out of the store, of, like, oh, this magazine, this is the first time this happened, so it'll probably hold high value, like, maybe, anniversary ones or the first introduction of a big character, you know, whatever. Or it'd be like, just off the top of my head, like, this is the volume, this is the magazine where Jiraiya died, you know, this is a side note, I watched, Tekken 101, I love his Bleach videos, but, like, outside of Bleach, I can't really care for his opinions on series, but that's just, again, also my opinion, he can have his opinion, but, like, he said that Jiraiya's death was okay, and I was like, oh god damn it, how can anyone watch that scene and like that fight leading up to that death and call it okay? I was like, god damn it, that's like one of the like probably the most like emotional deaths I think I've seen in like big shonen was Jiraiya's death. It was like so unexpected too, and it was just, you thought he was gonna win, and it was so sad, and like all the characters, there was so much impact from it. I love that part. I also got mad because he said nobody dies in Fairy Tail. I'm like, okay, that's not true, but go on. I'm ranting a little bit because he's always talking about like One Piece, like death is final. It's like nobody really dies in One Piece, like that's main. Ace died, and then they just brought back Sabo, who's just blonde Ace, and Sabo was laid out initially like he was almost dead, but he didn't really die. And then Whitebeard died, but like he didn't really do anything up until that arc. Like he was cool, but like his death had later impact, but it's not the same as like a character, you know, long throughout the series. Like Igneal's death was heavy because like we saw how heavy it was on Natsu, and that I think is definitely one of my favorite character moments of all time, personally. But anyway, I'm complaining too much about somebody else's opinion that I'm like, he can have his opinion, but goddamn it, I don't agree with him. Anyway, nozzle for what's... So I'm just gonna go Nozel, because I'm tired of people correcting me, and it's not a big a deal enough that I care. There are some stuff that I will never convert, but whatever. Nozzle, or I like how I said nozzle. I'm like, oh, go to Nozel, and then I went to Nozzle. But nozzle, it's either him or Fuego Leon. The reason I think it'll be Fuego Leon is because, I feel like Mereoleona, unless Mereoleona leaves to go do, like, her training thing again, I feel like it'll be Fuego Leon. And I feel like it'll also be Fuego Leon because now he has Salamander, and, like, his power level is going to exceed Nozel by a lot. Because not only does he have now the strongest spirit in terms of attack power, but because Yuno is around, Yuno could be like, hey, there's this thing called Spirit Dive that I could, you know, help you get the fundamentals of. And, you know, you already, a captain, very powerful, will become a fucking powerhouse. Like, the thing is, like, that I think is also a thing, is, like, there's a huge gap between Captain and Wizard King level, and Nozzle is clearly not at Wizard King level, Nozel, not at Wizard King level, and I'd say Fuego Leon, Mereoleona is the closest to that level, but she's, like, in between Captain and, Wizard King. Fuego Leon could easily cover that gap and be believable by learning Mana Zone and then, Spirit Dive, like, for real. Like, his especially, I think he logically would be able to cover that gap the quickest, and without it feeling like an asshole or, like, nonsense or whatever. Just keep that in mind. Do you think Drac and Joe will be fought in this arc? I think he'll be set up this arc, but it wouldn't surprise me if, oh my god, never mind, I thought I refreshed, but I just opened a tab by accident. I have to take my keyboard off my desk because my cat decided it's either she's going to lay on my keyboard or she's going to take up my whole space. I don't know. Is anyone there who doesn't follow me on Twitter you would have to go look to see what I mean. Like, I've posted some of the pictures. Like, legitimately, she lays right across next to my keyboard and then will roll on top of it and, like, smash buttons and stuff. It's very annoying, but I can't get mad at her. She just sits here because she wants to be close to me. I get frustrated because she'll, like, get me killed in games, but, like, she's only like doing it because she loves me and, you know, she wants to be next to me. I know. I don't know if you just heard that meow. She hears me, talking about her. She's embarrassed. Anyway, and now she's biting me. Quit it. I realize the Irene makes great foil for Silver being parent. So the thing is, so I'm gonna do character videos on them too. I also gonna do a video on my Slayer videos I want to do, but I want to do a video on Irene eventually, because I feel like she has a very controversial scene. A lot of people I don't think understood, like her and August both had very controversial scenes within the series, and I don't think a lot of people understood their characters, and I'm going to go over that. And again, if you want to be like, Rax, so you're going to talk about these two characters in a long videos, yes, I can go into long depths. I've read Fairy Tail many times, and there are aspects of them I don't think a lot of people went over. And they add a lot of interesting things. Like, when you look at the characters, Urza never really had, like, a motherly aspect, or a mother-daughter thing with Eileen at all. With Natsu was still kind of, like, in disbelief about Zeref being his brother, but it wasn't until that he saw, like, the way that he treated Larkade that he's like, okay, no, any ties that we possibly had, gone. You're done. And I really liked that whole scene. That was a great scene. Larkade too. Larkade added a lot of good stuff without being an influential character in terms of, like, being a big character of the arc, which you think he would because, his status, but still. But then you look at Gray, like, whereas Urza was like, no, you're a threat to the guild, I'll put you down. Natsu was kind of like a little bit shaky on it, but still he knew he had to take Zeref down. Like, he knew he had to take him down, found out about the past, he was a little bit shaky on it. And then after that point, he's like, no, I gotta take you down. Gray was even as, like, a threat to the guild, I can't kill you, you're my father, and I love you, and I can't, and that was such an emotional scene, too, because it was a 1 to 100 like emotional scene. Like it was already, well, I'd say like it was emotional, but it was like emotional to really emotional, like as a massive spike. And just like Gray's face in that was just heartrending. And I think that was just really cool when you compare their, each of them having to have a parent, well, not a parent, 'cause not his brother, a family member as an opponent, and even though when it came down to that, Gray wasn't able to do it. Like, he wasn't able to, even as a corpse, he wasn't able to finish off his dad. Like, he wanted to be with his father again. Sad stuff. Anyway, well, Eden Zero with Demons and Gods. I'm hoping not. I want it to be more aliens. I want aliens, robots, augmented humans. I don't want demons and gods and stuff. I like space calamities. I want it to have its own thing. Because even though there's mana and stuff like ether, it's much more of like magic tech, and we're not getting like this is a minotaur or a magic thingy. You know what I mean? It has some fantasy aspects, but it's mostly science fiction. I'm hoping it stays that way. And that'd be pretty cool, because like I want to see like alien races and shit. Like, we've gotten names of some, but we haven't gotten any like, I'm trying to think of like a big influential species in a series. The only one I can think of off the top of my head, like right away, is the Daleks from Doctor Who. I'll never watch... I don't know if I'll ever get caught up with Doctor Who, because from what I can tell, the chick doctor is awful. It's like super political and just not good. But the Daleks I always thought were really cool. You could have something like that where there's just like a race in Eden Zero, which is just like a dominating force. That'd be pretty sick. And just like one of them is a threat, kind of like what we get in Fairy Tail, like in dragons were by themselves, like pretty much like a living like natural disaster. You get something like that where it's like, oh, we have one of these aliens, and it's like, leave the planet now. Well, we had the chronophage, but I think more of like a species that's more like it's got a society, but less of like mindless monster. I'm trying to think, because if you ever played Spore, there's a species in that game that if you reach the final stage, they're like I think they're supposed to be like the Borg from Star Trek, where they're kind of like these part robotic people, and I'm pretty sure they're called the Borg. I don't know a lot about Star Trek. My Star Trek knowledge is like some of the new movies, and like when my dad would watch episodes, I just like, if I'm not like making fun, I wasn't like making fun of him for being a nerd, even though I'm a nerd. I would get like random episodes and kind of like get what's going on, sorta. But I think it's the Borg. If anybody knows anything about Star Trek, tell me. I think it's them, the robot people, well, cyborg people. And they're like a big hive mind, and they fly around like a big space cube or something. But like that. There were these guys in Spore, and I think killing them, like destroying or taking over their planet, was like pretty much how you beat the game. But I never could. And like anytime any of them showed up, like if I was like taking over a planet, anytime one of them showed up, I'd be like, I'm leaving. I'm not fucking doing this, because they would like wreck my guys every time, and that was so frustrating. And I just remember that, like, I like how like I didn't like compare it as much to like actual like big like represented species from series. I went to like, hey, if you've ever played Spore, there's these characters that sometimes would show up if you reach the final stage. But anyway, do you think Shiki could be a robot? No. My theory is still, I've talked about it in a couple videos. I'm going to do a video one on that. I don't want to go over it again. Like, if next time I go over it, I want it to be a video of what I theorize Shiki's origins are. Again, I don't want to spoil it, but, not a robot. I think it will have something to do with Mother, though. So, look forward to that. Will final villain in Eden Zero be similar to Thanos? I don't think a final villain will be similar to Thanos, but I will say the Thanos story, which my buddy, if he shows up randomly like he did last time, he'll tell me how like, don't compare the stupid MCU Thanos to comic Thanos. I know, I'm talking about the MCU Thanos, don't worry. The MCU Thanos, I think, will have a influence to Shiki's backstory, which I'll go over once I eventually get to that Shiki video, origins theory. I'll probably do that this week. I want to put that out there. I haven't done like an Eden Zero theory or discussion video in months. I really want to get back to it. It's like, I had some theories lately, but I've been so focused on like, I've been really happy of getting a schedule. Because there's still like, I want to have somewhat of a plan, but, random like impromptu videos too. Do you think Julius will gain his spells back? Yeah, I do. I think he'll get them back slowly, which I talked about a little bit with some of my friends. It would be really cool is if, like, as he's getting stronger, he's slowly getting the pages back. So, like, if you saw, like, oh, he had 3 pages last time we saw him, now he's got 5. Oh shit, what has he got nowadays? And it wouldn't even have to be like straight up like, oh, he's got 5 new spells. It would just be like, maybe some of them take up 2 pages. It would just be like, okay, he's more powerful, which would be cool. And it would be a visual kind of like indication of, him growing again. I think I read that. Asked to X Narrow. Noel will probably win in the future, but I think Nero will be competitor. Julius versus Acnologia. Acnologia would win. Acnologia has already shown he's immune to time magic and like time itself, so it wouldn't affect him. Like Julius, I would put him definitely at Spriggan level for sure. I think he would definitely like fit around Spriggan, but I don't think because there's like the way that I kind of look at it with Fairy Tail. There's like pretty powerful characters. You just kind of look at like guild aces and stuff until they finally reach Wizard Saint, and then Wizard Saint goes on to like they have their own collective one. The Gods of Ishval, and then you get Ishbal. I think. Oh my God, Ishgal, not Ishbal. I think is that Full Metal Alchemist Ishgal. And then it's like Spriggan. And then after Spriggan, you get into kind of like dragons and Zeref level characters, Toka and whatnot. Well, White Witch, but I feel like he would fit right into Spriggan. I think he's got a good placement in there. Like, he still hacks, but he's not invincible. And he's got a lot of pretty good combos up his sleeve. But there still are characters in It Very Tall that I don't think he can beat. Like, someone like Larcade, because Larcade is a demon, he's ageless. Like, he's not immortal, but the demons in Fairy Tail show that they don't age. Natsu obviously is a different case. We know that in canon. Irene would just be able to overpower the living shit out of him. August would just counter and learn all the spells that he has. Zeref and the White Witch and Zeref. Zeref already has his own arsenal, but also the White Witch could just drain him on the spot. Dragons are all like resistant to magic. But he would definitely be still a pretty big contender. Like, he's not like the pushover. I would put him at Spriggan, and then like any of the captains would be like good like upper Wizard Saint level. JoJo reviews. I don't know enough about JoJo. Like, my JoJo knowledge, like I've read part 1 through 3, but I wasn't a huge fan of part 3. I liked part 2. Part 2 is what, like, in my opinion, where a lot of my attention to JoJo went. I'll get to it again eventually. When I get to it eventually, I'm gonna go back and rewatch it because I want to get everything back in my brain before continuing on. And speaking of that, because I was thinking like, oh yeah, it's because it's a continuous thing. They announced Yu-Gi-Oh! Part 7, and I'm so fucking excited. Like, I really enjoyed Season 2. Like, Season 1 of Reigns was, like, enjoyable, but it wasn't great. It was like, yeah, I had fun overall. Season 2 starts out pretty slow, and then when it gets to Soulburner's backstory, it's just, like, hype from there, and I love the new season. The new season is so good, Season 3. I'm super stoked, and I really want to see the next main character. And I'm wondering if they're going to introduce a new style or not, because there are speculations they're going to connect all 6 series together in a new one, which would be really cool. I would dig that. We'll see, though. I would love to see Yugi come back and, like, Kaiba. I actually was watching some fan edit videos where it's like, a duel between these characters, and they, like, manipulate scenes from episodes that they duel. And, like, some of them were silly. It was like, you Bell-possessed Jesse versus Yami Yugi, and I'm like, that's not a duel. That he would absolutely maul. And like him versus Yugi versus Aster Phoenix, and like Aster was a good duelist, but he capped out at like right after getting Neos and Contact Fusion Jaden. So like he wouldn't stand a chance against Yugi at all. And what was funny is what I think was hilarious in some of those, just like looking back, there's a part of Yu-Gi-Oh! I have the exact same thought every single time I watch GX. And if you watched Yu-Gi-Oh! You know what I mean. Because there's a part in GX, because they have the Pro League duelists, which, they're like ranked. They're pretty much athletes. Like, athletes? What? This isn't fucking benchwarmers. Athletes in dueling. They do the Pro League. They do it for professional entertainment. They make a lot of money off it. And they have, like, Aster Phoenix is, like, one of the highest ranked people in the world. And then you had this dude called the D, and he was ranked 1. And they were always hyping each other up. Like, people are always talking about how great they are. And the D was like, I'm the best duelist in the world. Haha. And I'm always, like, every single time I watch that scene, I'm like, The literal only reason that you guys are so highly ranked is because characters like Yugi and Kaiba did not go pro. They didn't want to. Kaiba's too busy running Kaiba Corp. Yugi's too busy saving the fucking universe and like crazy calamities that want to fucking end it with card games. It's absolutely silly when you think about that aspect of the series, because you have like characters like that are more powerful, like as it is, like JoJo, when you look at like the characters, like they be getting more powerful as you go, but Yugi and Kaiba are, like Yugi especially, he's still top dog. And they, we're in Series 6, they have like tons of like universal and multiversal threats in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yugi's still more powerful than all of them. He's still the paragon of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Multiverse. And I laugh even in part 2 in GX, because like you're like, oh, I'm the ranked #1 duelist in the world. It's like, yeah, because the people better than you aren't fucking competing. Like, there's even a part when Aster Phoenix talks to Pegasus, and Pegasus is like, oh, you're one of my favorite duelists. Like, you're my top 5. You're number 4, and like. The #1 was Yugi, #2 is Kaiba, #3 was Joey. Joey's a good duelist, but he relies a lot on luck. Like, obviously there's a lot of luck involved in you, but he's like hyper luck because he has a ton of RNG cards. But Yugi and Kaiba, no. Neither Aster or the D would ever stand a chance against them. They would just demolish the shit out of them. Anyway, getting back to it. So, are you not a fan of the MCU? What's your thoughts? The DC movies I find more interesting. I don't like the MCU movies because they're like the same movie, and like especially now they're getting really political and like, oh look, progressive, we're getting so diverse now, and it's like I don't fucking care. I liked it so much better when a character was when you saw like a character that was diverse. It's just because the author thought it was a good idea to like, oh, I'm gonna have this character be like this, because like. One of my favorite superheroes is Static Shock, and he's like DC's Black Spider-Man. He's obviously not as popular, but he's got similar aspects to him. And I even like growing up, I never looked at Static as like, oh, he's my favorite Black superhero. He's just like, I love Static Shock. He's a cool fucking character, and instead now it's like, oh, we need a new character. We need him to be black and to be emphasized that they're black. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't care what they are. Like I can't remember who I was. Somebody was trying to I can't remember, somebody on Twitter was like trying to tell me I was a bigot or something. And it's like, how can I be a bigot when like one of my favorite manga is Fairy Tail, where unlike a lot of big shonen, the women are treated very well. And like one of the coolest, there's actually a lot of gay characters in Fairy Tail too. There's like a good handful. And one of the coolest members of the Fairy Tail Guild, Freed, is openly like, he's not like, it's not like hugely emphasized, but he's canon gay, and it's like, I never cared he was gay, I just thought he was cool. But it's like, it's so much annoying stuff. The MCU movies are getting annoying in that aspect for me, but with the DC movies, I like that they all feel different. There's obviously like a lot of hit and miss with them, there's a lot of shaky parts, and I feel like it's just because they were still trying to get their own vibe, because the early MCU movies don't feel like current Marvel movies. They feel way different. I think DC has found its kind of like style with like Aquaman and Wonder Woman, where it's like, we want to be more serious, but we still want to have jokes in there, but it's not like we have to stop doing the plot for, to have banter between two characters. Like the Marvel movies do that, and I don't like it. But I'm hoping they pick up, because I really liked Aquaman, I really liked Wonder Woman, I liked most of Batman vs. Superman. I can see where people had complaints of it. It definitely like fucked with like what people wanted Batman and Superman. But I understood what Zack Snyder was going for, and I still can kind of like get what he was doing, but at the same time I would have preferred he went with the classic style of Superman. Like, he could do gritty characters for sure, that's his thing, but it's like it doesn't work on Superman. But there was from what I noticed from Man of Steel through Justice League, he was slowly becoming more like Superman, like, what people wanted. And I'm hoping that was his plan, was to kind of like, by end goal, make him like, you see him become Superman, the Boy Scout superhero, and the face of superheroes. Because even with the success of the Marvel movies, the 3 most popular superheroes are Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. And when you think of superheroes, the most known one is still Superman. Superman is the face of superheroes. He's literally the most iconic superhero. It's like how Mario is like the most. It doesn't matter like the popularity of the games. Mario is like the face of video games. Like, he just is. Anyway, yeah, I'm hoping the DC movies pick up. I saw a lot of bad signs from the MCU movies once Captain Marvel was announced, and like they started to get where the comic books were going. They got super political, and that's where they're going now. And I'm just not interested. I'm not interested at all. Like I didn't even watch Endgame. I don't have an interest in it. I'll watch it like when it's on Netflix or something, but I'm not gonna pay to go watch it. I'm not taking that time out and then go to the movies. I just don't really care. The DC movies, again, I don't think they're great. Again, I really like Aquaman and Wonder Woman, but I'm hoping they pick up because I have more interest in them. But that's pretty much my stance on those. Stando Power. I like Stan. Stans are cool, but I liked it better when it was Ripple. I thought Ripple was cooler. Stans just kind of get a little bit too weird, in my opinion. But that's, I think, one of the charms of JoJo is pretty much just the Stans. So it's different because it's like, here's my opinion on it, but I know what works for the series and what the primary fan base wants, and that's a weird kind of stance to take. But it's like, I feel like when you think about it, it's a much more like logical thing, because like I don't really care for One Piece. There's some parts of it that I don't like, and I think like, oh, I wish Oda did this thing, but it's like, I'm not a big One Piece fan. I don't own any One Piece volumes, so it's like, even if I give an opinion that I think like this should have happened, it doesn't matter because Oda is the one writing it, and what he's doing works. So do what you do. It's what the fans enjoy, and I'm not one of the paying fans. So even if I give my opinion, it's not like doing what I want is gonna really matter. Because even if One Piece did what I wanted, I'm not gonna buy the volumes because I don't really care about it. So what's up, Sheridan Kane? How's it going? Julius Marking is from Viking. Is it really? Can you link me on Twitter? Like, put a post and mention me. I'm very intrigued. I figured it was something like maybe like a thing with time, like maybe like hands on a clock or some weird shit. But now I'm intrigued. I'll look into that. Maybe it means something, because I feel like it has a meaning behind it. And it's one of those things that like it was hiding in plain sight. And if you got like that thing, you'd know, like the whole thing with Charmy and then leading up, and then it was like, oh, Charmy saying wolf in sheep's clothing when we had all the foreshadowing about her beforehand. It was just like, God damn it, if only I got that small thing a long time ago, I probably could have predicted this. Edens are space vampires. That'd be cool. Acnologia versus Alderaan. Acnologia, I think, can beat any of the dragon gods in 1v1, because he still has the perk of being able to eat magic. But I don't think he can take them on in groups. Like, any of them, I think, grouping up would probably beat him. Space Between Time Acnologia obviously is a different answer. Like, he would probably slaughter everyone, because outside of Ankh Saram, there's nobody really in the series that we know of that would be logically more powerful than him at that state. Let's see. Imagine Goku using anti-magic swords. I mean, Goku's not a swordsman. I mean, I guess it'd be like, I don't really know what differentiating thing would be. I guess it'd be like if you brought in Guts or something, but like Goku would just be like, okay. I don't really get what you're going for, personally. Thoughts on Samurai? How Samurai has been so far? I've enjoyed it. I really like this last couple chapters. It's still really early. They're still establishing a lot of stuff, and like I saw some people complain about it, and it's just like they haven't even gotten past the character leaving the planet and going on his journey. He's still at like his whole like build up for it. I think his dad is gonna die, and that's gonna be like part of his like motivational something, maybe like revenge or something. Building up towards like an opponent. Because obviously this bad guy is not going to die here. He's clearly a big deal. Alfio versus Muscular and Deku. Vito, because he also has ranged and he has high level regen for sure. And the elf version especially, like the elf. Wait, do you mean? Hey, let me ask the question. So is this like Vito, like when he used the third eye, or is this like Vito specifically during the elf arc? Because we never saw like the extent during the elf arc. Well, I imagine even in a younger body, like full elf body is still, full elf body should still be stronger than third eye Vito, or at least equal to. He should be equal to or greater than, like just by default, because we know like the level that you get from the elf boosts are pretty ridiculous. So definitely Vito. Like obviously like he's a melee fighter too, but he's also got range and he can regenerate limbs and shit. So, and Deku is strong. But he doesn't have the level of durability, I think, that to compete with Vito especially. Let's see. La Bravo is a very lonely. I like La Brava. She's cool. I really like Gentle. I like Gentle a lot more than like Overhaul and stuff. Like this next arc. I'm probably gonna. I don't watch the My Hero Academia anime because I don't really care. Like I read the manga. I don't really care to watch the anime outside of like fight scenes and stuff. I'll watch on YouTube. But I will watch the episodes of Gentle because I really like Gentle. I think he was a really cool character. Let's see. Who's your least favorite Black Bull? Gray is my least favorite is Gosh. I don't really care for it. I don't really care for him at the moment. Like, I like Gray. I think she's cool and she has a lot of potential. I just don't really care for Gotch or Gash or however his name's pronounced. Not a huge fan of him. I don't dislike him, but if you had to like say like who's your least favorite Black Bull, I'd definitely pick him. Yeah, I like Samurai 8. Nezuko is in fact cute. Who do you mean is useless? Gray or Nezuko? Because Gray is definitely useful. Like we've only really seen her in one fight, and we know that she has an absurd level of potential with her support because she can straight up fuck with people's elements. Like imagine somebody. Oh, somebody has like somebody like Mars. Like Mars, his diamond armor when he puts it on. Gray could turn it into a different element. Like imagine her turning it into poison. Then he's got poison on him and he's poisoned, or something like that. Like acid. She could straight up switch people's abilities and fuck with them. She has a high level of support potential that I think is really cool, and it's only just gonna keep going from now because we know that she really wants to from this arc. She really wants to get closer to people in the Black Bulls, and she wants to get more into things. And she's trying to come out of her shell, which again, I like her character. I think she's good. These are good aspects of her. What's your least favorite? Who's your least favorite of Natsu, Gray, Ursula? I can't answer that. I said that last week. I really like all four of them. I can't answer that. I can pick my favorite. My favorite is Natsu, but I can't pick my least favorite of them because I really like all of them. It's like Natsu, because like I really like Natsu, and then it's probably Lucy, and then Gray and Urza are tied to me. I can't pick out of those. You would have to pick like a much larger arsenal. Like I enjoy the main cast of Fairy Tail too much. Like I like all. That's one of the things I really like about the series is I really like the entire main cast. Do a character discussion on Phil once you finish Promise Neverland. I will. I don't know a whole lot about him beyond like because where I left off is right when they escaped the compound or the farm or whatever it was called. I'm gonna wait until it's over and then I'm gonna read through it. I'll do something on Phil probably. He'll probably fit into one of the themes for my character discussion videos at some point. Oh my god, Larry Jones. That boss Larry Jones. That boss Ghetto. Did you read the new chapter yet, Larry Jones? It was pretty sick. Out of the topic, I'm straight with his gang shootings last night. Are you serious? Jesus Christ. Where do you live? It's always really weird. So this is a short story. I knew a dude who was he's from Atlanta, and obviously there's gang violence out there. And I'm from a small town. And he tried to like explain to me, because I'd be like, there was another dude that I knew from work, and he was also a dude from a small town. And we discussed like, because when you're in a small town, you have to find shit to do. Because there's not like, oh, let's go to, these X places all over the place, like living in a city. It's like, you have to improv. Like, one of the things that me and my friends would do is we'd get super, I'll say not sober. And we'd go to, like, Walmart and fuck around. And, like, you just go on, like, wacky little adventures. It was a lot of, like, whatever you could think of doing. And, like, this dude that was from the city thought it was really weird. And, this other, like, small-town dude now is, like, explaining, like, yeah, you have to do these things. And it's like, other than that, you hang out and you don't go on these crazy adventures. Like, you go on crazy adventures. You don't do more of, like, baseline stuff like what you'd see in a sitcom. But, like, this dude was explaining to me, like, we were explaining kind of, like, the differences between city and small town. And this dude was like, I could never live in a small town. And I'm like, I'd rather live in a small town because, like, I was explaining, like, the dangers of a big city. And this dude was explaining, like, why it's beneficial to live in a big city because, like, getting jumped is, like, a life lesson. And I'm like, no, I could avoid this life lesson by just not going somewhere where I'm going to get jumped and robbed. And he's like, no, man, it's a whole different story when you get when you're walking down the street to go to the store and somebody from school jumps you with a gun and, takes all the money in your wallet. And I'm like, no, I don't ever want that situation to happen. You can avoid this by just never going somewhere like this. And it's just, it blew my mind. Just a completely off-topic story to share, but you just reminded me of that. Like, I could never live in some of these cities. It's just too dangerous. Like, fuck. Like, the worst that you would have to worry about in, like, where I was from is, like, I don't know, somebody is, like, really drunk and causing a ruckus. Like, I don't think there was ever any, like, shootings or gang violence in my town from, like, at least me growing up there. There was, like, some dark stuff before I was born, or at least, like, when I was so young I didn't remember, which I won't go to detail because it's, we don't need to talk about sad stuff, but I'd rather live in a small town. I want to live in like a moderately, because right now I live in not like a tiny town, not bigger than like the one I grew up in, but it's like I like living adjacent to like a city. So like if I want to go there, I can, but I don't want to ever live in a city because it seems awful. Off top, I read that one. Yeah, I hope you're okay, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, Ghetto is that boss. I really want to see. I really want to see what switched him into becoming a villain. Or would you put Shiki's DC and speed? We've seen him like blow up some, or not blow up. We've seen him like some pretty good damage levels. The thing is, like, we saw like a good feat early, like in chapter 1, but we had, the ground was hollow, and like you can't kind of compare it the same. I'm just like trying to think of some stuff, because like he's at least faster than bullets, but he's not faster than missiles. We know that for sure. And damage wise, like he can, I think, definitely concentrated, because he destroyed like big robots and stuff, so he should at least be able to destroy like small houses and like at least, probably moderately sized houses. Like I feel like he would be at least comparable to like, you know, a small bomb. It's kind of hard because we haven't got a lot of like big fights. Like a lot of the fights so far have been pretty short. I'm waiting to see the full extent, because even like the biggest thing we saw was like he tore through multiple floors of a steel ship. So, you know, that's pretty impressive, but I don't know. Right now I see Shiki kind of like Phantom Lord Arc Natsu, just kind of guessing, but I can't really go off of the DC yet. For speed, we definitely know. We know that for sure he's faster than bullets, but slower than missiles. Let's see. Yeah. Oh my God, Fuser. Yeah. Tabata is smart. I don't understand why people are mad about like this. I can kind of get like some of like the personal kind of opinions going off it, but like he clearly had this plan. He clearly set this up, and it's just silly that people, you know, because they didn't see him doing this and setting something up with that mark, that that they're mad about it. It's pretty goofy. But let's see. So you see Valkyrie dying this arc, probably because like feel like she has to be so weakened that she can't leave the planet or something, and then we'll get maybe Pino becoming her replacement or something. I'm very curious about that, but I see her dying. Like she might not die, but I feel like there's some red death flags going on for her right now. Where the rope cancels out the ether gear abilities made of the same material as Garrett's whip. I don't think it's the material, because I think it's I talked about it in the review. I think it's more of like constricting wherever the ether gear is stemmed out of. Like if you have it in your legs, if someone shackles up your legs, you can't use it, because ether gear isn't like magic, where it's like, oh, I turn my magic into a power. You know, everyone who's a wizard in Fairy Tail has raw magic. You learn a specific type of magic to, you know, harness it in a specific way. Whereas ether gear is using the mana already in your body and altering it in ways to do different things. Like that's why the markings when ether gear happens, it's different ways that your magic is being rerouted and directed to do different things. You know? Let's see. Yeah, my cat is, in fact, for sure Baka. She's a super tsundere cat. For 100%. Tabata has some awesome potential. Story writing is better than a lot of people's. He's good. Like, he set this up a while ago. Like, he clearly had... The mark was going to be something. Like, he had the mark on his head since the start, and we never knew what it was, and whether it was a birthmark or a tattoo or a spell or whatever. And he had a very small panel of it. We saw it crumbling away, but he had a very small panel emphasizing it. So it wasn't just like, oh yeah, this happened in the background. It was like, hey, this is happening. Pay a little bit of attention. It's going to have something relevant later. Anyway, My Hero Academia fanbase for Black Kid fanbase who wins. I mean, there's more... I think, like, just kind of going off of the sales. Because, like, last year, Black Clover... it's kind of weird because Black Clover has like it has a big manga profit. Like it's still doing pretty well. It didn't make top 10 last year, but like it still it had to do somewhere a little under 2 million. That's physical sales. We don't know about digital and stuff. But its anime does really well. It's for like 2 straight years. It's been like the 4th highest grossing anime and profitable anime for Tokyo TV. So the anime is very big for them. So I'd have to look at like where you'd factor in the anime crowd with where they go in the manga, then compare the same thing with My Hero Academia. But The thing about My Hero Academia's fan base that I'm just gonna drop a straight up diss on them. Not all of them. Not all My Hero Academia fans. But factually, My Hero Academia has a very cancerous aspect to their fan base. They have a very toxic piece to them, and I don't think it's their fan base. I think it's just like a lot of like people specifically over in the West and probably Europe and stuff, where they have all these super politically weird individuals. Like you see like an article like every month about My Hero Academia of like, oh, why Horikoshi should consider making Kirishima and Bakugo gay canon and what it would do for the story, and it's like, who the fuck cares? I still think the one that was really funny that was like Momo and like, oh, she's showing so much skin, like how could a magazine like Shonen Jump do this? And then like I remember the first comment I read on that Twitter post, it was like, that this series is in there, and it's like, oh my, I can't remember the full name, but it's like that Hot Springs manga where people just call it ghost tits. It's just like it's like a comedy harem, and like I remember in like the first couple chapters, like the lead female straight up like sleeps on the dude with like her puss like directly on his face, and I'm just like, how are people mad that their Shonen Jump has Momo in like short shorts and like a tube top, and yet they're not complaining? Like, you can't look at it and say like, I can't believe this magazine is doing this while this exists, and it's like, what are you complaining about? I don't think it's My Hero Academia fans like in general. I feel like it's a lot of those fans that are super casual and they probably just watch the dubbed anime. They've seen like 2 animes and they just watch it because it's superheroes and no other reason. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not going to say... I don't think it's even a majority. I don't think it's even in like 20% of My Hero Academia fans. I think it's just a very toxic, noticeable but toxic portion, which is unfortunate for them. And that's the one thing like I can say that like Black Clover fan base does not have, is they don't have those toxic folks. They don't, like, at least currently, I don't see those toxic articles or like posts and people, like there was a petition, never mind, I don't want to go over like more My Hero Academia toxic fan base. Like, people are going to interpret it of me hating on the series, and it's me of more love like, I feel bad that their fan base has to deal with this shit. Black Clover's, I do like Black Clover more than My Hero Academia, so whatever. That's just my opinion though. Probably My Hero Academia is a bigger community, but I feel like their SJW NPC like percentage probably can't fight. I don't think they could fight. Every single time I see like those people that fit that description, they fill in a stereotype a lot of the time of some super soy boy. I actually laughed because I was watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I like that they make fun of pretty much everybody. They don't really take sides, but there's a part where like it was on like the women's march, like they were going to the women's march, and like all the characters had like plots to do something there, and there was one dude, it was like an all-female flight, and one dude is like, oh, I volunteered to do this because women are oppressed and I want to help them and be their champion, and D is just like, oh, so you're a soy boy beta cuck, never mind, there's no men on this plane. I laughed so hard out loud because it was like, that's exactly what so many people are thinking, and it's so accurate to like the response to that comment. I thought it was great. It wasn't like one of those things where like or they like overshoot it. It's like, no, that seems like the proper response. It was so good, but like, god damn it, that dude came off as a pussy. Let's see. Also hear that Tokyo Ghoul fans burning their manga bombs. I did hear about that. Yeah, they were mad about the ending. My Hero Academia versus Black Clover. Yeah, I mean, the authors are friends. Horikoshi and Tabata have been friends for years. I'm curious if the creator of Jujutsu Kaisen, Gege Akutami, and Horikoshi are friends, because there's been some interactions with them. And Megumi's dad, Megumi has a shitty dad similar to Shigaraki, and he has a scar similar to his, and I'm curious if that's intentional or coincidental. Like that scar right on his mouth. Very curious. I remember sometime cooked Tokyo Ghoul up, and really, somebody cooked up a volume. That's great. I love that. That's funny. I think too many more people should join the Black Bulls until VC is introduced. Oh, the vice captain? I will probably get more. Well, there hasn't really been a lot of introductions. Like, since the start, it's been like, what, Zora and Henry. But Henry was foreshadowed since chapter 2. All Might versus Elfman. A lot of people are going to say All Might, but here's the thing. Legitimately. Elfman, at the start of the Alvarez arc, traded punches with Natsu. Like, he and Natsu traded punches, and it wasn't like, oh yeah, they stood there and punched each other. They went up to kind of like, roughhouse, and Elfman got the punch on Natsu beforehand. Obviously, they're both in base, but, and, Natsu's, like, power jumps are much higher than Elfman's when they go, a power-up form. But that still is, like, impressive for Elfman. And that alone should make him far beyond All Might. Like, it's ridiculous. Because, like, when you look at, like, base Natsu is still way more powerful than My Hero Academia. Just, like, even, like, fodder to base Natsu, like, Ikusatsu Nagi, is still far beyond My Hero Academia at the moment. I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there. You gotta keep that in mind. And Elfman should still scale up more powerful than My Hero Academia. Outside, like, the only thing that would be a threat to him are, like, characters with, like, hacks powers, like fucking, what's her name, Ari and whatnot. Top 10 fights in 2019? I don't know. The one that I'm super interested in Natsu versus Gadgil, because the thing about it, it's not just like, oh, they're fighting. They're fighting, but Gadgil isn't restricted at all by, like, them being allies. Like, obviously, Gadgil got a lot of character development from start to current, but that aspect is not present because, he's being controlled by the White Witch. So it's just going to be, it's going to be a much more powerful version of the original fight, which I'm stoked because that was a great fight. It was one of the best fights in the series. And I'm super stoked for that. I'm super stoked to see a fight between Satoru and Geto so bad. And, like, there's a lot of upcoming fights I'm super stoked for. I'll probably do, like, a video near the end of the year because, like, right now we're barely past half. Actually, no, because it's almost August. So we're getting close to 2/3 in. That'll be a video for a later date, but those are two I'm definitely excited for. That'd be dope. Yeah, Elfman versus... Oh, I already read that. Black Bulls. Oh, God. Where was I? Hang on. I'm still far behind, but I'm not as far behind as I thought I was, which is good. Here we go. Black Bulls and versus Fairy Tail as a whole. Fairy Tail would still win. Like, Natsu alone counters their whole guild. Natsu counters the entire Black Bull guild, except for Asta, obviously. But Asta would still get fucked up by Natsu's fire because the radiating heat of it would still burn him. Like, he can... Like, Natsu roars at him. He could potentially cut it. The thing is, like, Natsu should still be beyond what Asta is capable of, what the sword should be at, like, scaling up to. But even if you considered, like, say, oh yeah, he could cut him. Like, even if you take into account, like, okay, yeah, maybe the anti-magic swords would work. But the radiating heat would still KO Asta instantly. Like, that much energy, like, output, like, would just put him down the second it starts. Yo, Rex want to voice chat at some point? Probably this upcoming weekend, because Sunday for me, I gotta go to bed earlier than originally. I try and go to sleep by like 9, maybe 10, because I gotta get up at 4 in the morning for work. So I try and like take a lot, like I want to like push out my personal time on Sunday, like playing games, like reading and stuff. Also getting ready for work. That's the rough thing. This weekend though, I get a 3-day weekend, so we can voice chat this weekend. I think Luck is the son of Thor. I don't know about that. That'd just kind of be too weird to kind of like explain the timeline, or not timeline, of like the events of how that happened, of like Luck's mom, who's just like a commoner begging the god of thunder. Maybe he could be a big deal. Like, he'd be a big deal foreigner, which would explain why Luck, has a lot of like strength potential. I don't think he would be a god. That'd be kind of too weird. I remember what? Yeah, I read that. The soup. The soup. Thanos, I've never lost that. I am next Wizard King. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I hope the king in BC is dead, so both Naz and Fuego become kings. Well, he doesn't have to be dead for him to not become Wizard King, because at least from what people could tell, that page that was in front of them at the very last page of that second to last panel, when you see him very young, that page in front of him, at least from what people saw, or what people theorized, is his grimoire. And if so, he's way weaker, so he wouldn't be Wizard King after this. He would just be back to, he'd be a new recruit back into the Magic Knights. And then I still think it's going to go to Fuego Leon. I feel like it's going to be Fuego Leon. Plus, I think he has a better personality to be Wizard King than Nozel, because Nozel is kind of a dick. Like, if he doesn't think that you're beneficial and can pull your weight to the Magic Knights, he's kind of an asshole. Whereas Fuegoleon is much more of like a knight. He's not like I'm a super nice guy, but he's like, he knows how to motivate people, he knows how to talk to people, and I think that by alone as a better trait to move up. Plus, again, Salamander, Spirit Dive, like I already believe he's much stronger right now than Nozel. And the second he gets Spirit Dive, then he's gonna jump a whole league above him. So, to watch technique videos, I've watched his Black Clover videos, but I'm just like, it's different than. The thing is, like, when I watch his Black Clover videos, I don't really get into them. Because, like, I watch his Bleach videos because he knows a lot of... He's like for Bleach what I am for Fairy Tail. Like, I could bring up stuff that probably people, like, didn't notice and, like, go, like, way deeper into certain aspects. Because I've read the series multiple times. I've gone into, like, all the spin-offs and in a lot of stuff. And he's like that for Bleach. But, like, when he talks about Black Clover, it's like everything he says I already know. And there's no, like, surprising aspects of it. And, like, when he does it with Bleach, there's, like, you can go over something and it'd be like, oh, I didn't even notice that part. Like, and all these things. And then it's, like, with One Piece, I just don't fucking care. That's why I wanted to read Jujutsu Kaisen, though. Because it's so it has a lot of Bleach-like vibes. And I think he'd like it. But he's busy talking about Black Clover now. Which is at least something. Get more Black Clover, some more hype train. Hey, he intentionally wrote the last part, bad despite. On what? In what series? In Tokyo Ghoul? I don't think so. I don't think he wrote it bad to be spiteful. I think he just kind of was trying to end it. I think he was rushing it. Just because he didn't... I think he didn't want to do the series more. I don't know. Very questionable. Let's see. Sanji would lose if his DV had ended up on Amazon Lily. I don't want... The time skip ruined Sanji. Sanji used to be my favorite Straw Hat. He's been utter trash since the fucking time skip. He's become like Yamcha of fucking One Piece. Like, Zoro is off trashing everybody he fights. He literally, last chapter, off-paneled every single one of those ninja guys. And Sanji, on the other hand, like, was getting his ass kicked. He beat them all with one sword, too, and not breaking a sweat. And Sanji had to bring out his trump card, his, like, raid suit, in order to fight Page 1, which was also off-paneled. Legitimately, I don't think any fights are really going to go into in One Piece any further, outside of, like, important fights, like, you know, boss fights, like, big boss fights. Ever since Oda, like, outed that he doesn't like doing fights, like, he doesn't do a lot, like, if you go back and look since then, like, the time skip, it's mostly just been Luffy and Zoro that get fights. Everyone else is, like, a really quick, or you get, like, a panel, like, every chapter, or, like, a couple panels of them fighting, but it's not, like, they never get really, like, the side characters never get focused fights anymore. It's Luffy because he's the main character, and Zoro because Zoro's a fan favorite, but other than that, like, the other characters don't really get a lot of, like, interesting battles. Ruby voice actor Shasting Vic. Yeah, that dude, fuck that dude. That dude's trash. Shannon McCormick or whatever, fuck him. I'm not giving Rooster Teeth any more of my money. I refuse. I'm gonna read the upcoming comic, because there's a comic that's done by Margaret Bennett, who did one of... I don't know if she's still on it, but she did Beyond the Grid for the Power Rangers comic, and I really liked it, so I'll check it out. I'm worried that, you know, it might end up bad, because Ruby already has, like, it has some shaky parts, but also the fan base is absurdly toxic. There's only a couple fan bases, I think, way more toxic than it, like, Steven Universe. It has, like, the most toxic fan base I've ever seen, but yeah, fuck Rooster Teeth. I'm not giving them any more money. When they apologize and, you know, make everybody that's been acting like a bunch of pieces of shit, you know, make up for what they've done, then I'll give them money again. But until then, fuck them. Some of Yami's character traits are based off of giant Seotons from the north. That's pretty cool. I'll have to look into that. You think Paige will react when he sees young Julius? I don't think he'll care that much. Was that been Jiraiya? How do you not like Jiraiya's death? Julius's marks from Vikings? Is it? Again, like, tell me, I want to know. Also, we'll see Steve mention. Well, I just thought it because it's like, Nozel sounds weird, and they have a fucking sibling named Solid. Solid. They all have weird names except for Noel. It's Nebra, Solid, Nozel, and Noel. Noel's the only, like, name in there that it's like, oh, I know that name. Everything else it's like one of those characters you just make up a name on the spot. This doesn't have an existing name before, or it's some, like, crazy foreign name. Well, I guess, like, it's crazy foreign name to me, but you know what I mean. A one-armed Wizard King. Dad, that'd be awesome. You just imagine this. Could you imagine? It's like like any other kingdoms, they get word. It's like, oh, Julius is no longer the Wizard King. Julius Novachrono is no longer the Wizard King. And then it's like, you know he's a big deal, because not only he's powerful, it's like, you just hear about it, it's like, this dude fucking can... This dude's magic is based around time, and he can age people into dust. And it's like, okay, cool. Do they have a Wizard King yet? It's like, okay, yeah, they just added a new guy. It's like, oh, what is he like? It's like, well, does he have anything crazy like time magic? It's like, no. It's like, well, he's a one-armed fire user, and he's got Salamander, the highest attack power spirit, and apparently he's learned how to fuse with it. And then just be like, fucking phenomenal, great. Like it sounded for a second like we had some push, but nope. Opium Zero goes as long as... I don't think it'll go as long, at least at the moment, but obviously it's still early enough, we don't know. I mean, it easily could, because, you know, vastness of space, but we'll see. Merleona's Fuegon with Salamander. I still think Merleona would win. At least, the only thing that I think would switch it is if he learns Spirit Dive. The thing is Merleona's ability to burn magic is a huge aspect to where she fits in with Black Clover, because she's not only powerful, but she also can burn magic. And keep in mind, her Calidus Brachium Barrage, because it's hitting you in every direction, it's holding you in one place. It's literally holding you in the air, pounding you with attacks, and anytime you use a spell, unless you can somehow, in like a split second before an attack hits you, use something like to teleport out or something, your spell's gonna get burned. Like, it could theoretically be like an instant death, because she's just gonna burn you to a crisp and your magic. And it would burn away things like Mana Skin and stuff. Like, that alone, her attack in Black Clover is a huge danger. King of Lightning was batching Irene. That's because, here's the thing. I have King of Lightning, dropped Fairy Tail back in fucking, oh my god, what was it? Oh my god, how am I not getting that name of an arc? In the Grand Magic games, he dropped it when Sting surrendered, which again, he didn't understand at all why Sting did it. He didn't get his character at all. He didn't read it, and then skipped over all the content up until, and just read the chapter where Irene kills herself, and then just goes off that. And it's like, he 100% just did the videos to get on a hate train and get views. I don't like him. I can guarantee, especially now he works for Viz, I can guarantee that his opinion will be whatever it is that benefits Viz. Because I can guarantee he's a paid shill. Fuck that. I don't like him. I don't like that idea. That's one of the reasons I stopped reviewing One Piece. It's like, I don't want to just review One Piece just to sound like I hate on it. Like, if I'm not enjoying it, I'm not enjoying the series, and I'm not enjoying reviewing it, I'll dislike it. If something happens where I have to rant, that's the different story. But I'm also reading it. I didn't drop a series and then be like, oh shit, this is a big controversial topic now. This will get me a bunch of views. I'm just gonna go get on the train. It'd be different if he's still reading it and, you know, he still clearly didn't understand the characters. But at least it's like that. But the dude, he's 100% one of those guys that will just get onto whatever will make his channel active. Which I don't like the idea. It just seems soulless. It doesn't seem like you're going over what you want to talk about because you're passionate about it. It just seems like you just want views and you just want to shit on something for the sake of shitting on it, which I don't like. But again, that's my personal opinion. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. I know I'm really behind. It happens all the time. Well, Naruto and Sasuke, that was their thing, is they yelled each other's names a lot. That was the meme. Well, Natsu and Gray did that at one part, and it's like people were like, haha, they're like Naruto and Sasuke. And it's like, well, Naruto and Sasuke, that was like a thing throughout the whole series, like fucking Inuyasha and Kagome. Like, Natsu and Gray only had that moment once, and like one scene. Asanero, Sekiri Noel, most Great Destiny, and it's gonna be good stuff. Asa's harem will get bigger. He's a player. He's getting them. Mother is basically a god. Oh yeah, but she's like a cosmic being god, not like a weird religious magic being god. Like, oh, I do these things. She's much more of like, again, like I said, cosmic entity rather than like I guess there's like a weird gap between just like really powerful, like far beyond comprehension beings in space versus like the idea of a god where they're this mythological magic being. You know, there's a thin line between those, if you know what I mean. Rukia crying at the end of the third Bleach movie is heart-shattering.
It's good stuff. That was a good movie. Asta, ex-girl from the Diamond Kingdom. No. That won't happen. Us now is most of it. I'm curious to how long Sekiri is going to... Oh, now they're just saying, let's just call her Nero now, which I don't... That's fine. I doubt she gives a fuck. But I'm curious now that'll go. Do you think Asta will face other mages with 5 of the grimoires in other kingdoms? Yes, I do. I 100% think that's going to happen. I think the Black Clover grimoires are going to slowly start to come out, and we're going to find out, like, more about, like, what their influence will be like. Because obviously, you get a Black Clover grimoire, you're going to have, like, a lot of power behind what you do. It's Charmy. That's going to happen. Julia and Sekiri for Black Bulls. Sekiri, I think, is a maybe. She's pretty powerful. Like, she's got a lot of hacks to her. Sekiri, I'm wondering if she can stay in her human form, or if she's gonna turn back into a bird. Very curious. Maybe she'll switch between the two, kind of like Yoruichi. Who's your favorite character from every Yu-Gi-Oh series? Easily, my favorite one in original is I always consider Yugi and Atem. I always say Yugi/Atem because they're like the co-main characters, so I always count them together. GX, Jaden. I love Jaden. 5Ds is Jack Atlas. Zexal, I'd say between Kite and Shark. With Arc 5, Arc 5 is a little bit everywhere because I like Yuya, but I like a lot of the supporting cast too. I'll just cheat and go with Yuya, but right now with Part 6, it's definitely Soulburner. Soulburner is my favorite character in Vrains, 100%. He's so cool. I love his deck too. He's a really cool character. I had to scroll up, I accidentally refreshed. Oh no, I lost my spot. I refreshed and I lost a lot of comments, I'm sorry. I'll just read from the top. I really like Far From Home. I didn't care for a lot of the stuff that was in it. Live action adaptations are trash. They're more than likely trash. Not all of them. I like Shazam. How do you feel if Gray beats Laxus as a way to set up him being able to legitimately compare to Natsu? I don't think it'll be him. I'm telling you, I would be fine with it, but I don't think it'll happen. I still think that Wendy's going to fight Laxus 100%. 100% I think it's going to be Wendy. Because I think that's because otherwise, like, who else is Wendy going to fight? I saw people saying, like, Wendy's going to team up with Urza and fight Joel. I'll be like, why? This is a big personal fight for Urza. I don't think anybody should join in that fight. Who's left in the guild for Wendy to fight? There's Makarov, why would she fight Makarov? Laxus. You have the most intimidating Dragon Slayer versus the least intimidating Dragon Slayer. One is a big, jacked, buff dude, and one is a loli. You have a lot of, like, opposites between them. And then, finally, I could shut up so many people. Because Wendy is legitimately one of the most powerful members of the guild. But people act like because she's a loli that she's not, which is just, like, ridiculous. Like, she's done so many impressive things throughout the series, and yet people be like, well, she's a loli because she's not that strong. Stupid. And, like, I don't think she'd beat Laxus, but I think she'd push him, and you just see, like, I feel like she'd get pushed really hard and then be able to disenchant Toka's hold on her, which I think, or on Laxus, which would be really cool. And we already know that she's, like, around Master Enchanter level. And, oh my god, it'd be so cool to see her fight one, like, end of this, if she can achieve Master Enchant level. Up there with, like, Dragon Eileen. Because that was one of the things, again, that was, like, very noticeable about Wendy, is Eileen herself was complimenting on, like, how much latent potential she had. I get so frustrated around that, because it's just, like, I like her character. I like her character a lot. She's got a lot of development. She's very entertaining. She's really cool. She's got a lot of good fights and a lot of good scenes. But people can't get past the fact that she's a loli. Like, every single time. It's just like, oh, god damn it, stop. So she's a loli doesn't mean everything. Justice League was trash. The thing is, Justice League, the thing that I didn't like about Justice League, one is the Flash. They made the Flash look fucking stupid. The thing about it is, where I think they fucked up is, well, they did fuck up, and they finished most of the movie with Zack Snyder's version, and then Zack Snyder had to step down because he had family emergency stuff because his daughter killed herself. And then they brought in Joss Whedon, and Joss Whedon, who's a Marvel dude, did a bunch of reshoots, which almost doubled the budget. So they spent, like, instead of, like, $300 million, they spent, like, $600 million on that fucking movie, and they lost money on it because of it. And so you have scenes in the movies where you have a bunch of dark, gritty stuff, and even though, like, it feels weird seeing Superman in dark, gritty, like stuff like that. Like he's done dark stuff before, but you know, people have a very different like view of Superman than that. And Zack Snyder has like he's got his own following. He's got a fan base. People, there's still you know, he's got a strong following that love his movies. And if you took out fucking Joss Whedon stuff, I think the movie would have done a lot better. Because the thing that bothered me the most out of that movie is you have scenes that don't feel like they fit together. Because you'll have a dark, serious scene, and then it will be like a Marvel scene where it's like, haha, we banter, we go back and forth, we're really witty about what we say, and, you know, we jive at each other. And I was like, this doesn't feel like what was going on 5 minutes ago. It doesn't. It's dumb. I didn't like... that was the thing about the movie I really didn't like. There were still some parts I liked. I liked that every single member of the cast was relevant, even though I didn't like the Flash, the way that they did him. He was still relevant. He's still useful. That's one of the things I really don't like about the Marvel movies, is you can really do everything. I haven't watched Endgame, so I'm not going to be like, oh, the Endgame, you could probably be like, well, it's different in Endgame. Like, you rewatch Infinity War, and, like, you can do that movie with, like, 3 characters. There are so many characters in them that just don't matter, and they're just there because people like them. But it's just, like, they don't bring value. Like, Black Widow does fucking nothing. She just is just like, hey, I'm the token chick of the team. But they also brought in other chicks, and they actually have superpowers. And it's just like, stop. I don't like the MCU movies. But whatever. I think the DC movies have a lot of potential. I think they just have to find you know, the flow and kind of like their own tone to do, which I think they, like I said, I think they got with Aquaman and Wonder Woman. I did like Shazam. Or they're going to remake Superman Black or something. No, so the thing is, there is a Black Superman. It's in an alternate universe where Superman dies, and I think he's General Zod's son. So they could bring in that dude. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Calvin something. They could bring him in. The problem is they couldn't just have him, oh, he's Superman now. They would have to explain, like, why he's here. They would have to do another movie with Superman, bring in this dude, and then have some reason that Superman is out and this dude is replacing him. And again, it's completely plausible. It would be stupid. I think it would be super stupid just to switch the actors and be like, this is Superman, and no one notices that he's a black guy now. But let's just, like, you have a way to logically do it, but I feel like the people that want it to be done don't know that. They just want him to be black, which is just like, there's a solution to what you want. You don't know that, though, because you don't want it because it's a character. You just want diversity points because you're stupid. It's annoying. The next Doctor Strange movie is going to be the first MCU horror movie. I don't care about it. I pulled out of the MCU movies. I'm not going to follow them anymore. Stan gets a lot cooler in part 4 and 5. Yeah, I'll check it out. You know, Tabata really teased us on Julius meeting Lemire. He dies before Lemire appeared and came back right after Lemire crumbled. Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty wild. Juice Mark is like Sakura's Mark. Well, Sakura's is more of like, oh, I can charge up, you know, chakra so I can use them for, you know, levels beyond what I normally am. Whereas Julius was like a fail-safe or like a backup. You know, he's got a potential life save because he didn't even know if it would work. That was, I think, the big gap between them. Is Sakura's, obviously, she knows it works. And she learned it from Tsunade. Julius said he's like, I didn't actually know if this was going to work properly. I'm glad it did. What if Noel or Zora was an elf? Noel would be powerful. Elf Zora would be terrifying. Because Zora already is strong, but not because he's powerful. It's because he's intelligent, he's strategic, he's good at taunting and baiting people into stuff. I feel like if he became an elf, he'd be one of the most powerful characters because of that. Because we already know, even being a human and not being, he was a peasant, and he already is, like, really powerful because of, like, the way he uses his magic. Giving him elf levels of mana would make him one of the strongest characters in the series. Like, he would be able to drop traps and reflective spells, like, instantaneously. He probably could keep up his, the reflective magic on his body, like, just all the time, so you could never fucking hit him. Like, I'm pretty sure he would be way too powerful for, to be an elf. That'd be too much. Beat on the elf arc. Again, just really quick. I'm sorry if there was any comments before this. I accidentally refreshed my page, so I lost a lot. Actually, hold on. I still have my old one tab open. Could I scroll up? I do have it. Hang on, let me read all those comments. Let me find it. Let's see. Hold on. I figured out smart stuff, and I'm gonna pull back. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Rusty Rose versus Rill. I'm gonna go with Rusty Rose because the difference between him and Rill is Rill was like he needs to get in a vibe to get into like his own state of being powerful. Like we saw like when he's not in it, he can get trapped easy. And both of them, like, you know, motivation and creativity, like, will, you know, strengthen them because they're based off of, you know, their imagination. But Rusty Rose is much more like off, you know, drop of the hat, you know, he's ready for stuff. So I would go with him. And plus, he doesn't need his hands to fight, where Rill needs his paintbrush in order to use his magic, seemingly at least. So I'll go with Rusty Rose for now. I actually skipped over that from way earlier. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff that I can go by because I already read it. Could Nozzle get a form like Noelle? No, I want that to be Noelle's thing. Cat is adorable. She's a good cat. Okay, there it was. Yeah, I already read that. The Grimoire stuff. Urza versus Storm. Storm is... I think she's one of the most powerful mutants. I don't know if she's Omega level, but I remember her being very powerful. Rax, what's up? No spoilers, please, but you just finished Season 2 Game of Thrones. Oh, good. Well, that was a good season. I just didn't like Season 8. Season 7 has some wonky parts, but I liked it overall. But, I don't want to talk about Game of Thrones. That'll just make me sad. I love the types of discussions where we talk about characters, join the main cast. Yeah, it's good stuff. Speaking of Thanos, it'd be funny to see an OP character in Eden Zero just snap their fingers and destroy shit. That'll probably be something we'll get way later on. Julius versus the first Wizard King. I'd go with Lemire. Because we know light is good against time magic, but, you know, the gap between... The reason that it was different is because Julius was just straight stronger than Patri, whereas Lemire and Julius are probably on level, so that gap is probably gone. And just, like, it just comes up to a better... You know, a magic having something over another. What do you think is going... how do you think Aki's going to die? I'm really hoping he becomes a hybrid like Denji. I don't want Aki to die. Aki legitimately already is a really deep character. There's clearly a plan with Denji to make him a more complex character, as I've talked about some of the aspects that's been laid out so far. Aki already only 32 chapters in Chainsaw Man. He's already a really deep character. I really like that about him, and I don't want him to die. I hope he becomes an immortal. He got off easy with the Future Devil, and I'm hoping he ends up forming merging with one of them, because maybe that's what he means, like becoming this in between, like becoming part devil. Will be in his own version of like, this is really the worst way for you because you hate devils. This would be a fate, you know, living forever while your family is dead would be like what he would envision it. But I don't know. It's gonna be sad. It's gotta either be that or something really depressing. I'm worried about that. It's hard because, like I said, Fujimoto, he's so unpredictable. I can't get a grasp on like a tone for what this guy's doing. Do you think Black Clover is most likely to die? Who do you think Black Clover is most likely to die? Right now, it's hard because characters, like, it seemed like they were gonna die, but they were kind of, it was intentional, so you didn't put them into the fray of things. Like Fuego Leon, he was comatose, so we didn't know what was gonna happen with him. It's too early to die for a lot of characters like Yami and stuff. Some characters that I think aren't big but would leave impact if they died, or like anybody back at the orphanage, like Sister Lily. I think she is a perfect, could easily die and not like, she would have specifically character impact, not like world impact, and I think that would be a good one. Zara versus Jean Grey. Jean Grey, like the Phoenix, she's way more powerful. She's like the strongest mutant. Think the Dragon Eaters can pull off Dragon Force or something beyond that? So that's one of my theories of why the Dragon Eaters are so strong, is maybe they don't have, because my theory of the way that Fitstone Dragon Force works is eating the dragon meat, like, you're pretty much integrating that directly into your body and like speeding up the process because of becoming a dragon. I'm wondering if they have a Dragon Force, but that would be like their drawback. Maybe they won't have Dragon Force, or maybe maybe like that's why they don't get motion sickness. Is they're gonna have they won't be able to turn into a dragon. Maybe theirs is gonna be like straight up like confined in it, and they won't get dragon force or the ability to turn into a full dragon. That's a possibility. I want them to though. I'd like that to be a thing because I feel like 5th gen Dragon Force, it being the fastest to become OP, I feel like makes sense because you need to eat part of a dragon, which to do that you need to find a dead dragon or have a dragon offer you part of their body or something. Like it's not like any of the others where it's possible, and it seems too big of an obstacle right away to jump. No, I don't think anybody could just jump 5th gen Dragon Force unless you knew somebody that was capable of killing a dragon that could be like, here, eat this. There's a lot of theories I have with that, with Georg and his origins. Do you think Julius do you think if Julius was in Fairy Tail he would have the Chrono take over power instead of Demaria? Probably. I mean, he'd probably have something like that. Julius can't beat any Spriggan, to be honest. All 12 will outscale him. Therion, which is hyped beyond Julius is capable. Yeah, but not all of them scale to Therion. It starts at Wall, and Wall is not the weakest Spriggan. You still have people like Agiel. You have people like, you have Nineheart. Nineheart cannot beat Julius at all. That's ridiculous. There's absolutely no way that he could beat Julius. Like, there's obviously, like, brandishing him, it really just goes to whoever hits the other first. But I feel like he could... But I feel like he potentially... I'm gonna... With Julius versus Brandish, I feel like he would win more often than not against her. But not like it wouldn't be like a for sure win. He can't beat Demaria because Demaria would be unaffected by his magic. Wall is arguable because Wall... It'd be like what is the age capacity on Wall? It's like species we don't know. But also Wall, he could just, have him fight proxy robots and then fire a Therion from a distance. I think Julius is Spriggan level. He's definitely Spriggan level. I don't think he's like up there with like August and Eileen, but I think he definitely could beat some of the Spriggan. And if you say like 1v1, he couldn't beat the Spriggan, he definitely fits the power level to, fit into that tier of a Spriggan 12 member. He could beat God Serena too. He definitely could beat God Serena. Come on. Shiraki is a good villain. Oh, Tamura? I like him. He's cool. Can I watch Frames without having watched? Yes, you can. So 1 through 3, Yu-Gi-Oh! 1 through 3 are all connected. They're all in one timeline. Everything beyond that so far has been in its own universe, which is cool, but at the same time I wish they were all in one timeline just because, it would add like extra bits to like what's going on in events from previous ones. Maybe part 7 will connect them all, but yeah, you can watch Zexal, Arc 5, and Vrains by themselves. You don't have to watch any of the others. Well, Arc 5, I feel like you should watch at least some of the others because there are some of the characters that cameo in it, but they're like an alternate universe version of their original self. They aren't like Aster Phoenix is in it, but it's not the Aster Phoenix from GX. He's the same guy, but he's slightly different. He uses a slightly different deck. It's still Destiny heroes, but they're different cards. He's got different aces and stuff. If All Might is dad, then Aizo his best uncle. He's cool, dude. I like him. Ending the world with children's card games. Oh, that's the best life. What Magic and Black Clover would theoretically be the most powerful present, past, or future? I mean, anything like that warps reality is pretty fucking good. Anything like that, like Time Magic already is pretty good. Like it just depends on like what you directly go off of. I think Zora's is legitimately one of the best because it works on any magic that we've seen. Including ones way more powerful than the user. Like his reflection magic, as long as he gets it casted and he gets the seal done, it will reflect his opponent's magic. And we saw that because like any of those elf characters would trash him in a 1v1 fight. They're way more powerful than him individually. And he reflected back one of their attacks that was all 5 of them combined, including Elf Raya, and he reflected it back at double, and then Asta hit it back, and then he reflected that back, so he was able to reflect 20 times of what was, or 20 times of what should be able to defeat him, because, you have one character that could beat him, and then, times up by 5, and then quad that, and he was able to reflect it. Zora, I would say, at least right now, just his, like, if you put everybody at the same level, Zora, I think, would legitimately come out on top. At least his magic because of his reflection magic and some of the ways that his traps works. Because he can also reflect back them again. They go back twice as powerful. So if you put everyone at the same power level, he would be able to reflect their attacks, and then he would, because of that, be able to have a higher output than them. Do you watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge? I haven't in a while, but I have. I don't like episode 7 or something. Can't wait for Black Clover opening 8. All the appear fire. Black Clover consistently has great openings. That is factual. Every MCU movie, not all. I mean, like, yeah, Winter Soldier. Did Winter Soldier win before? You know, I don't remember if Winter Soldier was before or after Avengers, but I think it was after. But yeah, there's a couple of them that aren't, but they've since become like very systematic, and they've had the same tone to them. Not all of them. Like Iron Man 1 feels way different than any of the other movies. Like Iron Man 1 has that same kind of tone like the DC movies are doing, where they're more serious and they have comedic parts, but the comedy isn't the focus. That's what I don't like about the MCU movies, is they have scenes where it just kind of like steers away from the plot to do jokes, and I don't like that. How would you feel if Gray... Okay, I read that. Okay, I think I'm... Okay, I read everything that was in the section where I lost the comments, and I'm catching up. I had Midnight Sun versus the League of Villains. I had Midnight Sun would maul the fuck out of them. That's not a fight. Alright, okay, I found where it was. Juice Mark is Heigl Rune, associated with healing. That's really cool. I'm going to bring that up. One of my friends is always like super against like that. I'm going to bring that up because that is an extra thing that just shows that Tabata playing this. Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't know that. Gray turned my flames into whatever you think you can. Wait, Nezuko is not useless. Gray legitimately, she's useful. I don't know why people think she's not. How would you rank the demon gates? There's actually, I don't even have to rank them. There is a part in one of the volumes, I think it's volume 46, that has their stats given by Hiramashima. And the strongest, obviously, is Mard Gear. And then second is Kyoka overall, but Silver is higher than her in everything except for speed. And the weakest is Keith. He's the weakest, and then you have, like, I think it's, like, Jackal and Franmoth, and actually, I think Easel is one of the strongest. I'd have to go back and look. There's actually a set ranking for them, and then you bring in, like, I guess it's not the Demon Gates for Mard Gear. Yeah, then, fucking Gienma, god damn that dude. But yeah, I'm counting Mard Gear, just because, obviously, he's in Tartarus, but Kyoka is the strongest Demon Gate. That's why she was just, their leader. Yeah, I read that. Will organizations go as far as character? Where will you do organizations as far as character discussions? They'll be individual videos. I don't think they'll be part of the character discussions. They'll just be their own thing. Least favorite fairy tale character? Mest is one of them. I don't like Mest. I had this conversation with someone the other day, and it's weird that I can't think of off the top of my head my least liked character. I know Mest is 100% one of my least liked characters. I don't like Mest. I think he's just he's a waste of a... I wouldn't say waste, but he's just an idiot. That whole part where August was fully willing to use words to negotiate a peaceful way to settle things to the best he could, and then Mest is just like, haha, I didn't tell anyone, I memory messed with Brandish, so she's gonna stab him, and it's like, you idiot, what are you doing? Stop. Like, you are not, like, I'd be like, Mest, you're part of the guild, yes. You've done things, yes. You are not a big shot in the guild, though. You are not one of its key members. You don't need to be making decisions like this. Like, you have, like, the smarter people. You have the more fighting people. Mest is just, like, he does dumb decisions thing. The best thing he ever did was save Wendy and Carla from Face self-destructing. But I don't like Mest. I've never liked him. I just never enjoyed his character. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, because I had this conversation with someone, and there was another character that I really didn't like, but somehow I can't remember who that is. I don't know. Let's just stick with Mest for now. I don't like Mest. Duran Bolt, Mest, Duran Bolt, whatever you want to go by him as. Vito versus Zancro. I'll go with the Vito based off of his healing and regeneration. I think they're both around each other in terms of, like, raw power output, durability, but Vito is able, he's got that high-level regeneration that Zancro doesn't have. Who's your Bleach waifu? Yoruichi for sure. I really like Neliel too, but Yoruichi, she's got that nice dark skin, stands out. I think I've seen people call her black, but I think she's supposed to be Brazilian. I'd have to go back and look. Think, I think that Kubo said that at one point. I don't know, but like her and Neliel are definitely my picks for Bleach. Fairy Heart Zeref versus Endless Lucia. Oh, Zeref for sure. Because on top of all those, Zeref has way more in his arsenal. Way more. Like he could just stop time, take away the Decalogue from Lucia, and then what? That he's just lost the sword, and that he loses power. Or we already know that he can disintegrate weapons. Like he saw it when Natsu tried to use his heat sword on him. In the newest generation, Asta is the strongest MC. Yeah, I see that. The only thing right now, I had this conversation also as well. There's some character I'm forgetting that was also really powerful. Boruto, I think, will overpass him, at least as of right now, because we know Boruto will become more powerful than Naruto, and Naruto is more powerful than anyone in Black Clover. Most toxic manga anime fan base. Oh, My Hero Academia, 100%, My Hero Academia. Because, like, Dragon Ball and One Piece are both annoying, but they're not toxic. My Hero Academia is a toxic fan base. Not all of them, but, theirs is the most notable, I'd say. I think they have the most notable. I'm trying to catch up. Are you worried Black Clover is going to get a bad filler arc? No, I don't think it'll have a bad filler arc. Though, I think what they're going to do with this arc is they're going to add in maybe some fights, maybe add in a couple of fights, or elongate some of the others, maybe give some character backstories a little bit extra. Because this arc is going to, even in the anime, I feel like this arc is going to take a year, and then they'll probably do some filler stuff in between the Elf Resurrection arc and what comes after it. Because it just feels like a more logical place to put filler. Because they could have done it before the Elf arc, but they didn't. So I think they just want to keep it on. And after this arc, the anime crew is going to be so hyped that they're not going to care about, we're going to get a couple months of filler. Like, to Ichigo, your next line is Bankai. I love that Ichigo always kind of like had that small pause in there. Everyone else is like Bankai. Ichigo is always at that Bankai, and then brings out fucking Tensa Zangetsu and ready to go ham. Have you seen the new series The Boys? It's pretty good. I haven't yet. I don't know what that is. The Wizard King vs. Licht is one of my favorite fights in 2019. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That was good stuff though, for sure. Have you seen these? I already read that. Let's see. It's not going to happen. Tyrion Lannister versus Happy, no air magic. Tyrion would win. The thing is, Happy, I'm just going to really quick. Happy legitimately is actually pretty powerful because the Exceed throughout the entire series have shown that they're very fast. That's an Exceed trait is speed. Like, speed-wise, they're able to keep up with, like, big shot characters. Obviously, not every other, that's like it. Happy, though, is specifically very durable because he's always fighting with Natsu. He gets hit by attacks a lot, similar to like how Lucy got pretty durable and how Gray became very durable. Just being in the fray of things. Johnny Young Bosch in My Hero Academia. Does he play anybody? I know he plays Zora, actually, in the dub, which makes me happy because Johnny Young Bosch is awesome, and he's one of the most iconic Power Rangers. Can you imagine SJW's trying to make fairy tale characters like Natsu and Gray, or Lucy gay for no reason? They can try. I mean, I don't know why they would. Fairy Tail already has, like, gay characters, so I don't understand why. I think it'd be funny, because if they're like, Fairy Tail needs to make one of the main characters gay, so it's gay characters, and like, you not paying attention. Freed, both versions of Sugar Boy, both are gay. Sailor and Kyoko were lesbians. At least, I'll say lesbians because there was absolutely zero signs of bisexuality. The Demario, people saw her as a lesbian. I don't think so. I don't think there was any, like, there were no signs that seemed like straight lesbian. She just seemed like she liked to fuck with people. She could time stop. She seemed to like to fuck with people. Whereas like Kyoko's a lesbian. We see her and Sailor in bed after probably an intense game of I wanted to say something better, but I was gonna say scissoring. That didn't sound as lewd, but I didn't come up with anything good off the top of my head. But intensive lesbian times. Let's see. What's up, Catherine? How's it going? Victor Funimation. Funimation's trash. They suck. Fuck them. Gotcha. Yeah, that rematch. I'm super stoked for it, Jared Punch. I'm excited, not just because they're fighting again. I'm excited because, like, you can take away the aspect of Gadget would bring in mind, oh, this is my ally, but he doesn't have that anymore, so he's gonna have the same mindset as like when he fought him initially, where it's like, I don't give a fuck if I kill this dude. Even she won't be able to fight in terms. The power, how comparable do you think Urza to fight Jalal? I think she's gonna get wrecked, because the thing is, like, I don't see how she's gonna be able to fight him. The only way I think she's gonna be able to do anything is she gets out her Nakagami armor and tries really hard to dispel the hold that she has on Jalal, because I just don't see it being like the same as like her fighting the Tower of Heaven, because like her feelings like have progressed a ton since then, and like I just don't think she's gonna have like the capability to fight Jalal, even with the clearly like held back animosity that she had. Like when she fought him in the Tower of Heaven arc, she was fighting him seriously, but she still wouldn't kill him because, you know, they're past. It's a different story now, because I don't even think it's possible. Because now the little only thing that separates them from getting together is Jalal still doesn't think he deserves her. Once that's gone, they're gonna get together, 100%. Like it's like with Juvie and Gray. The only thing that's separating now is Gray wants to be able to know that he can protect her until then. When he knows that he's able to protect her, he's gonna, you know, they're gonna hook up. Or actually, think of the snow cone making antagonists in Tokyo Shinobi's What. I liked it. I didn't have time to read the full chapter before this because, you know, the chapters come out for me a half hour before my stream. So I skimmed through that one, but it looks cool. I'm going to go back and reread it. There was that really weird lady that was like, kicking the shit out of people. I want to read through that again. I want to read through all the chapters again that came out that I didn't get until this, but good stuff. Bye and have a good day. Okay. I hope you have a good day, I guess. How do you see Lucy taking down Mirror Jade in the match? I'm really interested. Well, Lucy's really powerful. I talked about that in the video, in the review. Lucy has a lot of potential, because she's doing now something I've theorized for a while, is that she can double spirit plus star dress. Here's the thing. She can summon Gemini, have Gemini turn into her, or, well, Jimmy and me, that have them turn into her. She summons summons a second spirit. Then the Gemini Lucy summons 2 more spirits. Lucy star dresses, and then Gemini Lucy star dresses, and then you have 2 star dress Lucys with different powers, and you have 3 spirits also on top of it, and you can have Ares, who is underutilized because she has high levels of defensive ability, and her wool is hacks because it's so soft that it slowly soothes out your want to fight. Like it completely just snuffs out, you know, battle like prowess and like drive. And then she could have Loki, and then Loki. I always try and call him Leo because I like Leo more than Loki because that's his actual name. Loki is just something he took up. But Leo, you bring out Taurus or Scorpio. Like she has such a larger arsenal that just hasn't been shown yet of combos that she can do. I think she can beat Mirror Jane. Like the only thing that Mirror Jane has, I think that Lucy would have to worry about right now is her Sailor form, because she has macro. Like I don't think, unless Mirror Jane is somehow more powerful than I think Elfman right now, which I feel like Elfman is more powerful given that scene where he swapped punches with Natsu. I mean, but she could easily be more powerful now. It's been a year since the Alvarez arc. But I still think Lucy will win. I think Lucy is going to do a sick combo. You know, again, like bring out like she's done it, because the thing about her is she can do this. I think it's still because she can do her combos that we haven't seen her do like a good combo, like her Sandstorm Axe Alderaan, or oh my god, I can't remember. It was the name of a constellation that she used in her fight with Flare. It has a hard to pronounce name. Every time I try and say it, I keep saying Alderaan, but it's like it's like ALB. I'm scrolling to the chapter really quick, and then I gotta get caught up because the stream's already at 2 hours. And then let me find it. 1 second. Which fight is this? Oh, it's okay. What's that? I'm scrolling through really quick because it bothered me that I don't remember the name. I vaguely remember it, but every single time I try and think of the name, I think of fucking I just think straight away of Alderaan, you know? Let's see. What is it? Sandstorm Axe. Yeah. Aldebaran. Hard to pronounce name. But anyway. Let's see. Where was my page? There we go. You ever thought it won't fight in terms of power and probably think she is. I probably think she's. Or, I already read that. Yeah. Fuck, where was I? Here we go. Do you watch Broken No Heroes, Black Clover content? I watch them sometimes. I don't have the time to watch all the videos. Usually when it's like another YouTuber, if they have something that I see like something that I kind of want to see their opinion, like right now the Julius stuff, I wanna look into it. Still some other videos because a lot of obviously Black Clover YouTubers they pay a lot more. Oh, my cat just rolled over on top of my keyboard that's in my lap. What are you doing? I don't know if you guys can hear that. She's on the floor now. But like they pay a lot more attention because they talk about it a lot more and look for stuff to make videos and discussions and whatnot. But there's a lot of them going over like this wasn't an ass pull, this was all foreshadowed and stuff. So I still need to look at some other ones to see. Like it's the same thing with like anime reviews and reactions. The only time I ever look is when there's a hype part that I want to see what like people going in raw see. That's the only time like I watch someone do like a reaction to an anime scene or an episode. You smash, good. Bako Brimi Deku. Does he say that? Asta and Uno versus Marilyn would still win. Again, her magic burning. She's faster and she's able to. She's a much better close quarters combat fighter than Asta too. She counters both of them. I'm not talking about Julius. I'm talking about the king of the Black Clover. The guy. Oh, light magic. You're talking about Augustus Kira Clover. What if he dies Nozzle? Oh yeah. Well, he wouldn't be. Oh, if Nozzle becomes king, he becomes Wizard King. I mean, yeah, possibly. It would be kind of weird just to kill off Augustus. The thing is, he could become pretty useful now. We know that he has light magic, which is OP, so maybe he could become relevant and he could become like an actual good king instead of just being a dick. Sanji had only 2 real fights in the entire series. Yeah, Sanji, I like Sanji. At least I used to. I don't like him anymore. What's going on, Omar? How's it going, dude? Not much. I'm trying really hard to catch up. Really quick, I really appreciate if you thumbs up the stream and check out my other videos. If you, if you aren't subscribed to this channel, you can check me out normally. And only if you guys want to, I will accept and appreciate all donations through Super Chats to the channel. You want to throw me $1, you appreciate my content, I will appreciate it. I'm not demanding it. Anything is just all voluntary. If you want to, throw $1 my way and say, Rax, you're great. You're a good dude. I enjoy you. Steven Universe fanbase is definitely... Oh, yeah, Steven Universe's fanbase is toxic. They bullied a girl into almost killing herself because she drew a character that's fat, slightly less fat. They're absolute garbage people. Fuck the Steven Universe fanbase. I think depends on where Austin, where our power-wise pre-elf arc, I would say Leona would stop. No, I still think Mary Leona would stop them. Like... She's so much more powerful. Like, it's only because we saw what she's capable of in, like, a messing around fight where she's still fighting, but she's not, like, going all... And then the second, like, she would legitimately kill them if she dropped Purgatory on them. They would both die. They would 100% die. At least all power-ups. I mean, if they're somehow the same level, fanfiction is the way to go for Ruby. Pretty much. I mean, like, the fanfic writers, like, they write stuff better than the actual ones. Fuck Rooster Teeth, 100%. Fuck them. Finral deserves a girlfriend. Yes, he does. I love Finral. He's great. I remember arguing that Fuegoleon's arm would be a bad look for him, Magic King. No, it looks cool. His firearm looks so badass. What is King Lightning? I remember seeing a video with King of Lightning that was officially on Viz. I don't know what he does officially, but I'm like 99% sure that he works for them. I think he's sponsored by them or something. I don't know. I don't like him either way. As a guy who's starting an official reboot of RWBY stories. The only part, like the whole last season I liked was Salem's backstory. Everything else was stupid. Like, everything else was dumb. It was annoying. Like, they had, like, a long, drawn-out, like, let's fight this big robot that's really slow. And then, oh, a kaiju shows up. And then it's like, okay, the kaiju is just a big power... Like, they brought in this kaiju, and it didn't even feel like a threat. Like, the dragon from Volume 3 felt more threatening. It, like, could create other Grimm. It was way cooler. And it, like, burst out of a mountain when it showed up. My care for RWBY is, like, it's gotten to that part where I just care about a couple of characters and fight scenes. And it's unfortunate, because I've been following the series since the first trailer came out years ago. And it just keeps falling into a state that annoys me more and more as it goes on. And I want it to do better. And now on top of the series already being shaky, it's starting to get annoyingly political. And you can tell some of the stuff's like shoehorned in. They had to shoehorn in that one of Sean's sisters was a lesbian. It's like, I don't fucking care. They had to only I'm forgetting the part that I was trying to go over. I did like the part actually with Jean and Pyrrha, because Jean I think is the best character in the series. My favorite is Crow, but Jean is definitely the best character. Um, the fan base is toxic, and now the people behind the series are, maybe not the whole ones, but a bunch of them are starting to come out as like pieces of shit. So it's just like, I'll follow the series, but I'm not giving them any money. I don't want to. I always reset my subscription, my paid service to them whenever the Ruby was airing. But I'm not doing that anymore. I'll just pirate it. I don't fucking care. I don't care about Rooster Teeth and what they do. They'll be fine without my money. And if they want to get my money again, they can fix like the shit and the problems that's going on. Obviously, they can't help for their fan base, but like some of their plot. Oh my god, some of the story aspects. The fact that Adam lost to Blake and Yang is stupid, because he no difficulty trashed them in Volume 3, and there was no significant power level increase to say like justify them even comboing to be able to fight him and beat him like that. Like, he speed blitzed the shit out of Yang. Like, it wasn't even like oh, he's faster. It was literally one of those, oh, I didn't even see him move moments. And it's like, how are they somehow up to his level? Like, she did nothing for months but sit in bed and mope. And Blake did nothing but go around and try and be like a political protest figure on her island. But like, I hated that part. I hate how they treated Adam in the last 2 volumes, because Adam is also one of my favorite characters. He's a villain, he's a piece of shit, but he's an interesting villain, and they ruined him. Oh my god. Oh, King Lightning does solo leveling, which doesn't mainstream attention just yet. I heard of solo leveling, I haven't checked it. Lloyd Dragon Slayer strong. She's definitely strong. How does she see Lucy getting through her fight with Mary Jane? She has a better arsenal. She's got a wider arsenal. I think she's a smarter fighter. Mary Jane, I think, has more experienced fighting, but Lucy, I just feel like she's got more under her belt now, like capable of using, and like the level that she can put out there, I just see as being more. Plus, we don't know. I'm curious to know if she can still cast Fairy Sphere, but some of her other abilities we don't know. What other spells can she combo in? Can she still use? She has like Aqua Mitra. The second she drops Serrano Mitra, if she can get that off, she's gonna wipe them all 3 out. She can. I legitimately think she can one-shot all 3 of them with Urano Mitra, 100%. Do you like Android 21? Is that that's the one from the video game? The one that like turns pink? I like that one. Which Yu-Gi-Oh villain had the most hacks and overpowered deck? Oh, are you serious? Darts! Darts, by far! He had Divine Serpent, which has infinite attack points, and he can't lose as long as it's on the field. Darts' deck was so broken, and he had so many broken combos. Like, he had, oh, here, Mirror Knights. Oh yeah, it's pretty much Reflect Bounder times 10 or times 8. And then he had, like, what was it, Q Taurus, which just absorbs damage and then converts it into life points. And then he had, what was it, Aristaros, it was Shunaros, oh my god, I know Aristaros and Shunaros, I think. One was like, it'll always have 100 defense points higher than whatever's attacking it, and the other one was like, it'll always have 100 attack points higher than what it attacks. His deck is too broken, and like, the extra seals of the Seal Ori Count he is 100% like the most hacks. Like, even looking at other duelists and like crazy characters along the way, just like some of the cards that he had were just like, getting past that would be super annoying. And then again, Divine Serpent by himself. Divine Serpent, Ori Count goes Gygas, and Ori Count goes Gygas every time. It'll come back every single time, more powerful than the last. Like, again, he just has such a fucking broken deck. Top 10 strongest Dragon Slayers, the Alvarez Arc. That's gonna be a different video. Any top 10 stuff will eventually, like, stuff like that. Like, if you want to drop it in the stream, I probably won't get it in the stream, but I'll probably get to it in its own video. Because I want to end this soon. It's already been on a little over 2 hours. Lion King live action movie is lifeless. Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that it was lifeless. Aquaman and Shazam were good. I liked it. I like the cartoon Lion King. It's like, why would I go watch a lesser movie of the animated one that everyone loves? No, fuck that. It's just like they turned Batman into a comic relief. Yeah, I feel my theory of why they put way less emphasis on Batman is because Ben Affleck didn't want to be Batman. I don't know. They had a lot of cool scenes with Batman, though, but they definitely had some comedic stuff. But the comedic stuff, a lot of it was fucking Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon's doing a bunch of stupid stuff with him, and I hated that. Let me see where it was. I'm almost caught up. I'm gonna speed read some of this. Oh my god, I'm All Might versus Superman. Superman, what? That's not a fight. I'm just scrolling through it really quick. Yeah, Aquaman is good. I think Superman's so overpowered. He made the Justice League characters useless. Well, no, because the only thing that Superman is strong, but he has he has no fighting style. He's got no technique to it. He's easily tricked. Like, he's still really powerful, but like Superman is good at what he does. Like, Wonder Woman has defeated him before because she's really powerful, but she also has combat training. So, I mean, he's strong, but that's like Superman's thing. Superman's thing isn't like, oh, he's really powerful. It's like he's really powerful, but he doesn't want. He tries to live as like a weak human. Marileona bitch slaps Monica. Marileona wouldn't like Monica Real. She's not about that. She wouldn't give a shit about all of her stuff. She'd be like, she'd probably tell her to shut up. She'd probably be annoyed by her that she doesn't do anything. Let's see. I can just scroll down this way. Right, yeah. I heard Warner Bros. Actually wanted Michael B. Jordan to replace. That was a rumor. That wasn't real. By the way, at a pizza restaurant. You're making me hungry. I have a pizza in the fridge, but I'm save it because this is like a little ritual. I don't ever expect it to do anything, but it's just fun. Before the fairy tale chapters, the night before, I have pizza and wings as like a little hope that the chapters are going to be, as wings are a spicy one. And then it's first I was like, hey, this would be pretty fun to do, and then I liked doing it. It was just fun for me. So I try and only, just to make it more special, I only have pizza and wings before the chapters. So I got a pizza in my fridge, and I gotta wait a week to eat it. I'm probably just gonna have maybe orange chicken and rice tonight. I got a chicken. I gotta finish up so it doesn't go bad. Anyway, yeah, I like trying to make Spider-Man gay for. Yeah, that was stupid. Oh, see you, Smarty. Have a good day or a good night. I don't know what time it is for you. Wait, they're thinking about. No, that was a lie. War Greymon versus Metal Gru. War Greymon. Terror Destroyer all the way. Yeah, Superman is fucking OP. Julius versus August. August counters him. August counters most. August really counters like any straight caster, unless you somehow. Because really, August would be able to hear his thoughts. He'd slow down his perception of time because it isn't. I guess really his slowing down his perception of time would pretty much just kind of like cancel out his future sight too, because it wouldn't like make him slower in his mind, but it would probably cancel that aspect out to him. But all it would take is him to see his time magic and then instantly learns it doesn't work on him anymore. August is a hard counter to a lot of mages, like anyone who's a straight caster. Like again, August counters. When Denji gains other forms too. I'm wondering what his additions are going to be. Like, you could have simplistic stuff. Like, I remember seeing this, because I used to... Legitimately, I found this really entertaining. Like, have you ever watched, like, TV at 2 in the morning, and you watch, like, infomercials, and it's just, like, ads and stuff for, like, the Snap Chop or whatever. There was one that it was, like, a buzzsaw, but it was two blades, and one went one way, one went clockwise, one went counterclockwise, and it cut way cleaner and way easier. Could you imagine that with Denji? If Denji, like... One of his chainsaws is goes one way and one goes the other, so he could cleave through people at like a much higher rate or something. Or maybe the longer he revs up his chainsaws, like the faster stronger he becomes or something. That'd be pretty sick. I'll do a review on Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen. I'll put out probably Chainsaw Man today, Jujutsu Kaisen tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. I'll probably flip a coin because usually I do Chainsaw Man on Fridays, but fan translations didn't come out this week, so I'll just do the official one. So it's fine with me. I still support the official release. Black Clover is my favorite anime opening. It's definitely my favorite Black Clover opening for sure. Brandish's magic confirmed exceeded Therion by her title. Well, that's a title though. That's not confirmed. That's not confirmed. That's 100% a title. That's like you can't use a title and instantly plug it in. It's evidence for it, but it doesn't mean it is. The thing is though with Brandish's magic doesn't work if their power level exceeds hers. Nineheart got boosted by Eileen, and she wasn't able to affect her. She wasn't able to affect her with her command T or any of her magic. Absolutely not. Like the Nation Destroyer, though I think I would believe that it's within her power. It's never been shown. But her magic is more based on hacks. It's more based off, she could snap her fingers and enlarge, like, your heart, your body, and pop it out of your chest. She's not a power level character. She's a hacks, like, weird power type. Though she can do one thing that would be really cool is she could like pick up rocks, throw them in the air, and then snap, and then bam, they're mountains falling on you. So she can still do a lot. Like she's still powerful, but I wouldn't say like she can like because also Julius is really fast and he can see the future. So you got to keep that in mind too. Like she does nothing says that she's gonna be able to withstand like, oh yeah, this spell hit me that ages me into dust. Just saying. The title I would say is evidence it's not confirmed. Johnny Bosch laugh, Lelouch or Hollow Ichigo. I'm gonna go with Lelouch. I love Lelouch's like crazy laugh part. Zoro versus Natsu. Natsu would win. He'd burn out his magic. Because the difference is not Natsu's burnt out stuff like that before. The thing is also we saw back in back when he fought the Vanish brothers, reflecting, not even if you take a spell from Natsu, it's still his fire, reflect it back at him, it doesn't affect him. Like, he can exceed, like, his level of resistance is beyond his own level. That's one of the things about Dragon Slayers is their durability is their highest attribute. So, you know, durability and resistance also, especially their magic, you know, looking at those things. Like, Natsu was able to only just barely scrape by messing with August's spell, but only because, like, it was a fire-based. I think Natsu would be stronger in Dragon Force, but August in his, you know, his... I don't think... Was he ever given a name? I don't think so. It just, like, he just dropped this really cool, like, marks on his body and his skin turned red and his hairstyle changed. But, him in that, I think, would beat base Natsu, but obviously Natsu, Dragon Force, beat him. But Natsu would definitely win. Plus, he's way more powerful. Black Asta versus Kid Naruto. Asta would definitely win. What if Godzilla, the creature, exists in Black Clover? I'm hoping there's a radiation mage at some point. That'd be awesome. Beats and series contradict the card stats. And series heavily Mashima said that cards, they aren't 100%, but they're enough evidence to know where he's going off of. What contradicts it? Like, he still had, like, highest, like, stats and defensive abilities, like, stuff with, like, Torafuzer. I mean, they also seemed pretty legit. Like, Kiza's definitely the weakest, up there with, like, Jackal was he was a glass cannon. He had a high power, he had a high damage output, but he was not as durable as the other ones. Similar to how Torafuzer was not a huge damage output guy. He was much more of a, my Wazir is poisonous and I'm very durable, so I have to just hold you into this over the time and not get defeated by that, and, you know, tank your attacks and I'll win. Kyoko was definitely, like, very powerful. I mean, she trashed Armadary Fairy Armor Urza, and the only ones otherwise that could, like, is up there with her is Silver. Like, her and Silver were a good chunk of the rest of the 9 Demon Gates, like, for sure. Which is a dumber statement. Genma being stronger, or Yami from Bleach. Well, those weren't... So, Yami from Bleach, that was never discredited. It was just kind of silly. But I would... If it was... The thing is with Genma, I believe he'd be more powerful if you just looked at the raw stats. The thing is, we never saw, like, what... He never had any, like, hacks that the 9 Demon Gates all had. They all had some crazy power to them. Gemma didn't have that. He seemed like just very, like, very durable. You know, he's very powerful. You could still have a character be raw stats stronger, but, you know, hacks can overcome that. That's why it's hacks. Genma, it's not far-fetched to say that Genma, it was more powerful, but he was not a tougher opponent. I think Julius will get a new Grimoire. I think his will slowly come back. I think participant in the next Arc of Black. Who do you want participating in the next Arc of Black Clover? Zora, obviously. Noelle, Asta are going to be in there. I want Leopold. The one that I will pull is Leopold, because he was built up of being this potential rival, like backup rival for Asta, and he hasn't really done anything. He's had some cool moments, but he hasn't really done a whole lot. What's more useless, Chad from Bleach or Gil Thunder from Seven Deadly Sins? Gil Thunder, 100%. 100% Gil Thunder. Gil Thunder was hyped up to be much more of a deal than Chad was, and Gil Thunder literally became fodder to fodder, like, which is sad. Really sad. When he says Black Clover is trash, give him a Black Meteorite. Yeah, 100%. Which shippers are more annoying? Ruby shippers or My Hero Academia shippers? Ruby shippers. Because Ruby shippers seem like they actually might be influencing the series, and that's the annoying part. Like, if Yang and Blake become a canon couple, that's fucking stupid, because that was never... They were shown as close friends. Like, obviously, it's nothing confirmed yet, but it's enough that they might be able to push it that way, and if so, then there's no point in me caring about a lot of the series anymore. It's not like they both have their own character aspects and traits. It's not like fucking Blake's been built up with Sun for so long, and doing that would completely make Sun's character lose a huge aspect of him. That he was this character who was Blake's like off romantic rival romantic interest, because it's like, oh yeah, she could be with Sun, but she still has like feelings for Adam, but Adam, she wants to get over him and stuff. It'll bug the shit out of me if they do that. It'll be stupid. Anyway, and 90% of the animation sucks. Yeah, I mean, they do good fights, but in between that you can see a lot of wonky stuff. Ruby no contest. Yeah, Ruby's is annoying. Speaking of happy, do you think Nero Sekiro will grow a pair of wings? That'd be actually really cool. I never thought about that. Kind of like an in-between form. That'd be neat. Just be like a really mobile support. I will protect Rukia. I like Rukia. Only if you use a black form, though, it'd be great if Nero... Yeah, I'm hoping Nero... I want Nero just to become a really good support. Jalox, Urza... they will, soon. Oh, Spider, hello, how's it going? I knew you'd show up here, right near the end. Who's a better rival? Yuno or Bakugo? I like Yuno more because he has a lot more synergy with Asta. I like Deku and Bakugo by themselves. I don't like their rivalry. Because, like, I feel like in a real rivalry, like, Bakugo shouldn't still be as cocky because of how many times he's got his ass saved. And Deku, at some point, should have just been like, shut your fucking mouth or I'm going to punch you in the face. I'm tired of your shit. Like, obviously, that's not Deku, but I feel like a frustration buildup would just naturally form, and you just want to fucking punch him, because it'd be like, why are you such a dick? You're clearly not, you're skilled, but clearly there are people that can compete with you here. Quit being an asshole. Like, Deku and Todoroki are both people on his level, and yet Bakugo still is like, he's still like some overly cocky dude that like thinks he's like a special guy, and it's like, dude, calm the fuck down. You've had your ass saved by Deku like 4 times. You should give him some... Naturally, I feel like he should give him way more respect. I don't think he... I feel like his relationship with him should be like kind of like much more like Goku and Vegeta, where it's like not where it's much more like he's just annoyed because he's like, God, you pissed me off. But he's not like constantly just treating him like trash all the time. But maybe eventually. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Plus, I really like how much Asta and Yuno push each other, and they're constantly like evolving based off of the other's accomplishments, trying to figure out how they can put that in their own game. One of the weirdest things I have seen in manga. Wait, what's that? Yeah, the villain turns his going. Yeah, I thought that was cool. I thought it was spooky. Mary Jane would trash Elfman. She'd beat Jacob. Yeah, but that's because Jacob isn't based around power. Jacob's based around you can't detect him while he's in stealth, and he can clap his hands and then fucking put you in a pocket dimension. And then it's like, oh, he's also a pretty good hand-to-hand combat fighter. He's stealthy. And the only reason he lost to Mirror Jane is because he had to close his eyes because he gets shy around fucking girls and stuff. If you take that away from him, then she would win. He would trash the shit out of her. Like, that's... You can't compare... That's, again, like Nineheart. Nineheart's powerful. He's not a fighter. He's not durable. You get past his Historias, you get a direct hit on him because he's much more of a classic caster. And he's a much easier to win than someone like God Serena. Dragon Slayer, very durable, very combat aspect to him. Again, no. Mirror Jane... I would say Mirror Jane being stronger than Elfman right now wouldn't surprise me. But Elfman... like he just seems stronger in the Alvarez arc. He did more. Like Mirror Jane, Mirror Jane beat a self-nerfed Jacob, who is a stealth-based fighter who wasn't fighting stealth, and here we have Agil still. Like obviously he was. Elfman's like, hey, I have a counter to what you do. Oh, here's this. I'm thinking more smart and doing my own strategies, and I got a cool tag team partner. And again, trading blows with Natsu is legitimately beyond anything that Mirror Jane ever did, to be perfectly honest. But again, we could see, it's been a year, she could easily be more powerful, she could have more demon souls that we don't know about. She could just be like, hey, somehow, bam, Bloodman takeover or something. Larcade takeover or something. It's completely possible that you could find a way to explain it somehow. Like, obviously, you don't need to directly absorb their souls for takeovers. You could just straight, like, because the takeover magic is based on understanding, like, how things work and whatnot. The theories, though, are different, but still, like, you could work out, like, oh, she became good enough at it that she didn't need to, like, absorb their soul, but, Either way, no, I wouldn't be surprised if Elfman is more powerful than Mirror Jane. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Mirror Jane is more powerful than Elfman. She's just done more. Or he's done more impressive things lately. Just how it is. Even Zero Time Skip? Not for a while. Yeah, like, favorite shipping dies? No, I don't want that to happen. No one, he is not Vegito. Merleon versus Natsu. Natsu would win. He's just way more powerful. He also has magic burning fire. His fire has more range. He's got a higher stamina. He's got a way higher damage output. His durability is absurdly beyond hers. He's the only thing that she has on him is Calidus Brachium Barrage, which again wouldn't really affect Natsu because like that, her level of damage output is not even close to what would phase Natsu. Wouldn't even bother him. Plus fire. It's not. He's gonna eat it. To be honest, I'm happy he's alive because I like how Tabata's being different. Yeah, I like it. I'm happy about it because it was brought up. Yeah, because he showed you characters not in their exact form. It's good. I'm trying to speed up real quick. Mina. Oh yeah, the fucking Mayureka debut cancer people. Not the whole one, but just like the vocal part of their fan base. That's very annoying. Again, I feel bad for their fan base. They have to deal with it. I don't watch the Twin Star anime. I read the manga. I got to like chapter 40, and then it was caught up to date at the time, and that was like 2 years ago. So I want to catch up to it again. Welcome to my life, Rax. In terms of how Ruby's slowly turning out. I mean, the thing is, it's not like, well, Ruby's been shit for a while. It has like waves. It's like, man, this part's really good, and then this part's stupid and doesn't make sense, and then this part's really good, and then this part's stupid and doesn't make sense. Like legitimately, I didn't like the last volume, but it had the best episode in the whole series, and that was Salem's backstory. Salem's backstory episode is the best episode in Ruby. It has a ton of explanations on mysteries in the series. It built up a bunch of stuff. It had a really cool character, like, explained. It had a really interesting way that it handled a lot of stuff, and I just thought it was, again, a cool aspect of what was going on. But the red, like, stuff with Adam got me really annoyed. I liked the part with, like, all the depressing shit in that town. Like, it was just those last couple episodes that really bothered me. That was stupid. But, like, oh my god, I don't want to talk about it. The first couple episodes were boring, and then the last couple episodes were boring, and then there were some good chunks in between. I'm gonna say that autocorrect. Yeah, Scar bitch slapped Mufasa. Did he? Fanbase is lost because they attacked the creator. Did they? What happened? Oh, the remake. Yeah, I didn't watch the remake. Like, fuck that. The guy Adam sounds like he got almost as bad treatment as God Serena. Adam Taurus. Yeah, he got fucked. Well, God Serena was just unfortunate. Adam Blades made no sense. God Serena's made sense because he challenged somebody that logically would trash him. Oh, Kimba the Lion. Yeah, I've heard about that whole like theory that they ripped off that. Julius equals Deku. Getting 7 quirks and people hate how it works. What? Julius equals Deku. I don't get that. You're gonna go see The Lion King? I don't want to watch it. Jared Punch True. I'm almost caught up. Jose Porlis said if Urza was at full strength, he'd be equally matched. Do you think that's true? No, I don't. I think he was just humoring her. I think he was 100% humoring her. Because we saw like what Urza was fully capable of when she fought Ikaruga. Because that was the first time Urza like overcame like her strength and became more powerful. I don't think that Ikaruga was Wizard Saint level, so I think he was just flattering her, because he liked to fuck with people as he was talking to them and fighting them. But yeah, I don't think that she would be, at the time, match for him. Favorite Bankai? My favorite Bankai is Hihio Zabimaru, 100%. 100%. I feel like Larkade didn't deserve to have such a harsh death. Yeah, I know. Brandish is legitimately... No, she's not! He said that she had a higher level. No. Gray, when he's talking about her power level, was not including Ethereon. That's ridiculous. That's like saying, like, oh, I count Actinologia. Come on. That's ridiculous. That is 100% ridiculous. Keith, you go off of some crazy, like, gymnastics for some of these character moments. Like, no way. There's absolutely no way that was the case. That he would... Could you imagine if he's just like, oh, yeah, including Ethereon, Zeref, Actinologia. Well, he didn't meet Zeref, but he definitely saw Actinologia. There's no way. It's silly. Come on, dude. Like, come on. He also said, like, nothing. He didn't say in terms of power level. Because, again, also, Actinologia. Are you saying that he looked at her and said, oh, she's more powerful than Actinologia? No. Even Actinologia at that time, who was weak, not fighting seriously and fucking with him, is still far beyond Brandish. Come on, dude. And Ethereon, that would also include Real Nightmare. No. And Dragon Cry. No, absolutely not. You're not counting weapons and shit. No fucking way. I absolutely do not take that. That's ridiculous. What's up, Elric? Oh, wait, I already said hi to Elric. He's been here for like a fucking hour. What am I talking about? Yeah, people do that when they're killed. My favorite, unless they have crazy powers and shit. Kyoka's praise is stronger in the cards with Tempest. He is not stronger than Kyoka. Absolutely fucking not. No. He is not stronger. That is absolutely no. 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 Yeah, he took it. That doesn't mean shit. That does not mean shit. Kyoka trashed. Kyoka literally speed blitzed and one-shot Armadura, hard to pronounce him, Armadura, Fairy Armor Urza. She legitimately fodderized that armor and completely wrecked it and shattered it into pieces. No, Tempesta was not the strongest demon. Absolutely fucking not. No. Ridiculous. That is a ridiculous assumption. Absolutely. That is, no. Not gonna happen. You are fodder and fodder to greater fodder. And it's unfortunate when you become super fodder. Oh, I'm like right below the bottom. I'm almost there. And then I can end it. And then I can go get food. I'm hungry. I'll fight you. Son is basically Blake's fuck daddy instead of love interest. That's pretty much, I mean, she had this kind of like, want to like have a thing for him, but you know, she obviously had still lingering feelings towards Adam, which, it sucks for Sun. If they make her into a lesbian with Yang just cause shippers, that'll completely ruin that whole plot line and everything around that, which will be stupid. I have not watched Kamen Rider. I already have. They beat the shit out of her. Which part are you talking about? Water grenade. Do you know how long it took Vegeta to slightly respect Goku? Yeah, but keep this in mind. Actually, what was the part though between him becoming an ally and him becoming a him being a villain and becoming an ally? That's also a thing. He started out as a villain. He was there to kill everybody and blow up the planet and get the Dragon Balls and leave. Whereas Bakugo is just like a school bully. Like he's not evil. Like Bakugo, like even their origin. Vegeta is a warrior prince from a race that was enslaved and made to go around for decades, like, conquering worlds. And Bakugo is a mean little kid who thinks he's special, and that just, like, wants to shit on other people. And then he gets humbled multiple times. Unhumbling and, finding out where he should be made Vegeta a good guy. Those gaps of, like, their roots is too much. After the second humbling, Bakugo should have been way less of a dick. Sleep with Mira Jane would be pure bliss. I don't know, man. She's into some kinky shit. She's into a lot of BDSM stuff. She'd probably tie you up and fucking put on a strap on or some shit. She'd at least beat the shit out of you. We already know she's into BDSM. That's canon. That's confirmed canon from when they did the penalty game and like she tied up Urza and just fucking like smacked the shit out of her. She's into some kinky shit. Mira Jane only had enough magic to use one more attack. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. The thing is fucking Jacob is not, he was not fighting in what his whole entire specialty is. His specialty is you will not know he's there, and then he can just fucking clap and then fucking take you out. He's entirely based around being a super assassin. He's not a fighter. Mira Jane is a fighter. Jacob can fight, but it's clearly not his specialty. That's his backup thing, like if he ever has to fight. He's not like, oh yeah, let's get in, I'm gonna jump into combat. He's based around being straight on target, stealth, like, oh yeah, I can come in, you won't know I'm there, you won't be able to know what I'm gonna do, you don't see my weapons, you don't know what I'm gonna do, and if I have to, you're gone. He didn't even do that with Mira Jane, it was all off panel. And again, like, the idea that Mira Jane somehow was Spriggan level randomly at that point in time only, no. I mean, look at Elfman and Lizana. The only reason they won is because Elfman was able to counter his sand to a degree, not fully, and and Lizana gave him huge mobility and support because then his antlion traps weren't able to do anything to him. So it just came down to like normal levels of like, oh yeah, when he uses like ranged attacks and his melee attacks made out of sand, but obviously resistance to sand, it was still a little bit. Kind of like, I feel like it should have been shown at least Elfman showing up like a new form or something than doing the finishing move, but at the same time, it's a whole different gap between like Mira Jane and Jacob, because again, Jacob isn't a fighter. He's not. It's silly. I don't have a good comparison off the top of my head to really use, but again, like, Jacob isn't the same. He's not like someone again like God Serena, who's a dragon slayer, very durable, very powerful. His fighting style is pretty easy to understand. That's Dragon Slayer's powers, like, in their styles are very simplistic, but they have one perk to it that makes their attribute different than the other ones. Whereas Jacob is just raw hacks, and he's somewhat martial arts. Yeah, for his kid and stunt. Yeah, I figured that much. Soon, I'll read more. I'll read a couple chapters of rereading Tokyo Ghoul a little bit. I'll read some more later tonight. I gotta eat after this and record a couple reviews. I like to be the anime. Yeah, the animation is picking up a lot. It's picking up a lot. High quality animation gives it life. Yeah, I've been pretty happy about it. Wendy is adorable. I love Wendy. Hold on. Okay. Looks like I'm caught up. I just got a couple of these last comments, and then I'm going to end the stream. As the stream ends, if you guys want to throw me $1, I would appreciate it, but no pressure. Only donations. Would you review Ruby comics when they come out? Maybe. I mean, it's just like... It annoys me to talk about the series right now because it's in such an up and down kind of like status. Also represents the Tartarus card, so Fruits doesn't even have... Wait, I missed that. Or it doesn't even have the 3 top durability, but yeah. That's because they include... I'll have to go look, but they include one of his abilities in there that doubles his defensive capabilities. You know, his when he turns all diamond-like, at least metallic crystalline mineral of some sort. And even if you don't go by them, they're still really accurate, still placings. You're not gonna pull in Torafuza, who was fighting on level with Tempesta, and Gajo, who beat him, and somehow they're more powerful than the ones that was beating Urza for the most part. Only one at the Urza and Kyoka tied. They tied to the fight. Urza lost the goal because what they were going for was face, and Kyoka got face off. So I'll do a video going more into my kind of thing on that right now. Kalos League ended with Thanos for me. Are you talking about Pokemon? I'm trying really hard to avoid all the reveals for the new Pokemon because I like to go into the new gens blind. So going into the bushes, I don't know what I'm gonna find. It's been pretty hard. And I'm trying really hard to avoid Pokemon spoilers so bad. Silver versus the Word Devil. That one, I kind of want to go with Silver. I'm going to go with Silver because Devil Slaying countering and AoE. Because he could freeze the entire area. And the Word Devil is very powerful, like his magic attacks. But it doesn't have range. Even comparable, even close to Silver, because Silver froze miles of area instantaneously. He could just fucking ice over the dude. If it wasn't for range and obviously countering him, then I would say the Word Devil. But I'm gonna go with Silver. Ruby is my Ruby girl. The thing about Ruby is she's not bad, but she's not great. She's just all right. I enjoy her, but she's not my hype piece. But Kyoka lost to crippled Urza. Yeah, but she lost to Urza's fucking the flame pants. The thing that people don't understand about that set is it's not the ability it does is it funnels all of her magic into attack and speed. So if someone is out beating her only by attack and speed, like Kyoka, she can cover the gap. She couldn't use Nakagami armor because even though she had some other abilities that normally she'd be able to use Nakagami armor to counter, Kyoka's curse based, not magic based. But also, again, I'm going to go into more specifics of my opinions over that fight in a video because I want to talk more about it. Dialga versus Demaria. Dialga. That's not a fight. That's absolutely not a fight. Oh my god, I'm almost there. Adam killed Syria Khan. Yeah, I was sad. Oh, that is true. Was she voiced by Monica and Adam killed her? That is actually great. Yeah, well, character. I don't want Monica Real to die. I just want her to stop being a lying cunt. Brandish scales over Deliora, and all of Deliora's are the demon seizures that... What? Where? What? Yeah, it doesn't mean shit. What are you talking... Yeah, he's gonna use Deliora, but that doesn't mean Deliora was somehow comparable to Ethereon. What? Keith, Jason, you're pulling up some fucking weird shit. Deliora is not comparable to Ethereon. That is fucking ridiculous. Dude, what are you smoking right now? What? No, absolutely fucking not. Deliora is not comparable to Ethereon. That's ridiculous. Absolutely fucking not. There's nothing that says that fucking who was like, yeah, she's about Wizard Saint level, could fucking ice over something that could outdo Ethereon in your theory. No. Fucking no. Absolutely not, dude. The anime showed Mira Jane finding... That's the anime. So, I mean, I don't know where you're going with this. I mean, even if you want to like go at it, like what small stuff, like him turning invisible for a few seconds, where again, like she's able still just to fight him where he was, because he would just turn back and he was nerfing himself by keeping his eyes closed. So I don't really know like where you're going with this. He had to self nerf himself for Mirror Jane to beat him. Keep that in mind. How did Urza avoid the Jupiter cannon when it was fired at Agil? What do you mean? Oh, it was fired darted, or it was like right near his back and his side, and it hit him. The thing is, though, the gaps between it is we saw Agil wasn't bracing for it, because we already saw when he braces for it. Oh yeah, I could block it anyway, but it sideswiped him. It caught him off guard. It was a cheap shot. It'd be like prepping yourself to get hit by somebody versus somebody coming up and punching you without you realizing. But it wasn't that big. Also, like it wasn't like massive. I mean, it still clipped him. I feel like there's still some kind of argument there a little bit, but not enough to really kind of being like, it's a problem. Anyway, can show. I don't know anything about Persona. Obelisk Torn versus Hulk. I guess it depends what terms of which Hulk you use. I think strongest Hulk would. Well, the thing is, Obelisk scales up to like people who can destroy stars and shit. Kane, or is it what? I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. Who is more lewd over, Elizabeth or Lucy? There's parts where like Elizabeth just had straight frontal nudity, and the only reason that it wasn't like shouldn't be what it was is because there were no nips and no vag, but it should have been, like stuff like that. I mean, they're both pretty lewd, but Lucy's a way better character. Do you know how the Ruby unofficial reboot? I did not know that, but that's still funny. I think that's hilarious. Kane is also Bisca is a good shot. And surprising. Yeah, that's I know that's very true. Yeah, but she's slightly. I mean, she the sand was a little bit in her eyes. She couldn't see entirely, but still, the Jupiter wasn't so big that it's like impossible that it hit Agil didn't hit Urza. It's still big, but it's not like a fucking massive. Rex is not what I'm saying. I'm saying Kyoka lost to Urza and Tempesta beat Laxus. No, Tempesta beat Laxus by doing is like sacrificial ace in the hole move where he creates the fucking, oh my god, I get the names. I've seen like 15 freaking translations. Bane particles, ether particles, demon particles. I'll go demon particles because I like those ones the most. But he only won because of that. He only won because of that. In a straight fight otherwise, bam. And Urza and Kyoka tied. They 100% tied. They fell at the same time. They fell spot on. Urza and her both were not able to fight beyond that. You can kind of get a little bit of like she hit like right like slight before Urza, but that doesn't really matter. Urza, like it's not comparable. Like if it wasn't for the fact that Laxus was trying to save people, he would have just turned into lightning and left. He would have zipped right on out of there. But fucking the Laxus lost also because he wanted to save everyone and he was trying to save everyone. Leon versus Rufus. Rufus. I mean, come on. Current Lucy versus Minerva. I'd give it to Lucy just because Minerva hasn't had really any like signs of a boost in a long time. Palkia versus Minerva. What? The Palkia, they're the fucking god Pokemon. They're like fucking staples of the entire universe. Worldbreaker Hulk. Isn't he only like large planet? I'm pretty sure Obelisk would win, unless there's something. Makes a great MILF, by the way. Earth's good stuff. Fastest shown protagonist? I don't fucking know. Including Goku. I'm gonna say fucking go with Yugi. Just go with it. Unlimited. I know. I'm hearing your reaction to Kyoka being weaker than Tempesta. I had to say it. I mean, Kyoka is not weaker than Tempesta. That's silly. She's definitely the strongest. Oof. Dialga versus Reigns of Time. Acting like it. Dialga, again. The thing about it is the 4 god Pokemon are like staples of the entire Pokemon multiverse. Anyway, I'm gonna end this. I've been going on this for freaking, what's this, almost 3 hours? Yeah, appreciate everyone for showing up. Appreciate all the comments. And I will see you guys next week. I appreciate if you'd thumbs up the video. Check out all my other videos and to tune in for more. But other than that, thank you guys. Bye.